Hello.
And welcome to
Let's Talk About Book,
where we talk about book. I'm Smeevca.
And I'm Strawberry.
And we're reading A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin.
We're back. It's the part of the show where we make excuses of all the reasons why it's taken us so long.
Yeah, we really, genuinely, truly wanted to record this one earlier. Like
Which we say every time.
Which we say every time, because we did like two...
We were getting on track, and then we got sick, and it was very frustrating. And then I was, like, in the hospital and stuff.
Right. We did two Cradle episodes back to back.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do two Game of Thrones episodes back to back. And that was the plan. And that's what we were going to do, and it was going to be fine. And we were going to be like, we did those two back to back, and so we'll do two in a row, and it'll be fine.
Yep.
And it won't be that long.
Yeah.
And then it's been a long time, because we were like, we're going to do the every other week thing. And then the day that we were going to do it, we were, like, sick. Like, I got sick, and then you got sick, and then we were just sick for a while. And then, like, all this stuff kept happening. Including, you know, our friends wanting to hang out and watch One Piece and
One Piece
things
live
like
action,
that.
which also is a necessity.
Which is a necessity because, you know, real life... hanging out with friends and socializing is important, and you know, saying like, no, we can't hang out because we're recording our podcast is, you know, it's like, no, we should actually like.
And it was good.
It was good, and so we need to actually like be real people who interact with other real people as opposed to just hiding away all the time. So there's just been like a lot going on. And so it's kept us from being able to record, but we're finally
back again.
We're finally back again, and we're gonna be doing 7 chapters.
Yeah. Going
from Dany through to Catelyn. Although you had done.
I read 6 chapters. Well, because I read 12 chapters before, and then we like recorded 6, and then I'm all of that.
Right.
But then you were like, oh.
Okay, because I was listening to AltShiftX does the like Game of Thrones abridged videos, and I like to listen to those in sort of preparation for the episodes to sort of like remember what's going on. I mean, I also go through and like underline way too many things in the actual book, but I like to go through and listen to those because it's like he knows all the like future stuff that things connect to and whatnot, and so it's just like it's be like, oh right, that's what happens in this chapter roughly. And so I was listening to those at work, and then I'm like, you know, with where things are in the Catelyn chapter, I'm like, when does a certain thing happen? And it turns out it was the very next chapter.
Yeah.
The very next chapter is when a certain thing happens. See, I knew that the dogs were about to bark. You guys don't even get to hear those because I'm going to edit those dog barks out.
Because they were very loud.
But I knew that they were coming, and so I paused and I stopped. And for you guys, this is just going to be like a weird. Suddenly, I'm saying this, but believe you me, there were dog barks, and they have been edited out. But yeah, so it's like there's a certain thing that I knew was coming, and I'm like, it should be happening soon, and it was happening literally the next chapter. So I was like, hey, maybe you should listen to like one more chapter. I think that'll be a better stopping point.
And I had so many theories. We'll talk about it. I had so many theories. I was going on, and then we were listening to the chapter, and then I paused it, and then I'm like going on theories, and then play, and then paused it again over and over.
Yep. So those of you who are aware and know the sort of section that we're talking about, and like what's been going on with Catelyn and what the thing is, I'm sure you can guess, and we will get to it right at the end of the podcast. But I was like, it's better to end with this than start with this.
Yes, yeah.
You know, we start the next section with something big, which I mean, starting the next section
and that was very fun.
Big.
It was very fun listening to it with you and everything.
Yes, because like we were sitting here like listening to it together, and you're like pausing and taking notes the whole time, and there was a really funny part where you like paused to ask questions about some stuff, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know. Here's some explanations, I think, and then unpause, and immediately it just exactly goes into the explanation that you were wanting.
Oh yes.
But then later at a different part, you like paused right before the thing happens.
And then my jaw dropped and I played it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. This is gonna be a big one. I'm like, how do I title this episode to allude to the big thing that happens in this section, but without directly spoiling what the thing is for people?
I am the worst at titles. I never come up with the titles.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm almost like, so what should we title this episode?
And I'm like, my brain has gone blank and I no longer know any word.
Mm-hmm. Our earliest titles, I would just sort of like, usually just kind of pick a line that we said.
Yeah.
And just like use that, like try and pick some sort of funny thing that we said out. And now I don't always do that. But people didn't like people didn't watch our last episode.
No.
It titled Craster as a Libertarian.
I thought it was very funny.
I still think that it's funny. But perhaps it did not, encourage people to click on the video.
It would have encouraged me.
Right. Yeah, because I also thought about titling it like, Craster's Libertarian Paradise or something like that. But I'm like, Craster is a libertarian, I thought was funny. But I don't know, maybe people didn't agree, considering no one watched that one. It got like the least views of fucking anything ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, gosh, is there anything else that we need to go over in this little opening section?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Comments.
Oh, right.
Comments from last time. It's been so long. But
I think we had one comment, right?
Yeah, something like that. Well, the thing is, it's like I could just pull it up here, but then I'm like, but the mouse is right next to the microphone, and so I'm like, they're gonna hear me clicking, and so instead I just go look it up on my phone, our own channel. Also, whenever you type in "Let's Talk About Book" all one word, which is the easiest way to actually like search for us on YouTube, there's us, and immediately below us is Let's Talk About Books with an S that also has
a cat with a book.
A cat with a book as its like little profile picture, but it has like has like one video with 2 views from 9 months ago. That's like Goddess Reborn, available for pre-order on Amazon. So, whatever.
Just like an advertisement.
Yeah, whatever that is. And then there's Let's Talk About Books, baby. Which seems to be some lady, I guess, who's I guess maybe talking about books or something. I haven't actually looked. I just know that's what happens whenever you.
I always have a hard time finding the channel.
Yeah, we had one comment from Troacted.
Yeah, hello.
Our there's like a term. I'm like our most, like our strongest soldier or something like that. Our most our most frequent commenter. There are certain sections of this book where I have a really strong place memory for where I read them. I remember rereading that Catelyn Renly chapter when I was at a free concert at the park, and I took a break from the music and went over to sit in the empty bleachers by the baseball field. I also remember the first time I read the book in college. I got to a jaunt and Ygritte section at a bus stop and was absolutely enthralled by the book, not the bus stop. Which, I have a similar sort of thing all the way for book 5, where, like, there's a Dany chapter where things really start, like, happening, and I was just, like, on, like, a road trip with my parents, and so, like, I'm just in the back seat with this book as...
Just, like, going crazy.
Yep, as it's happening. Who's Theon again? It's such a mood for Theon. Also kind of a mood for Jon Arryn, actually, as we get more info about his death, and nobody cares. All the viewpoint characters just wave a hand like, it was obviously Cersei because he knew her secret. Whatever.
Yeah, because it was, like, the main, like, thing in the first book, and it was just, like... But it was really only Ned that cared, and Ned's gone, so, like...
Yeah, it's like Ned cared.
I mean, and then obviously...
and it, like, related to the stuff with, like...
Right, like, Lysa cares.
Right, Lysa
like,
cares, and, like, sends the letter to her sister, and so,
but she
like,
also didn't want to get involved at a certain point, so she also is, you know, like let's just be done with this.
Right, and so it's just kind of funny that, like, it was sort of, like, the big inciting incident for all of this, and now people are just like, it's like, we've got it solved now. So it's like, who really cares about Jon Arryn? Robert, I guess. Supposedly Robert really liked Jon Arryn, but no one else seems to much care about Jon Arryn. Poor fellow. But yeah, I think that about covers it. Then we didn't have any other frickin' comments or anything. So I think we can just get into the actual main thrust of the video. Do the YouTube things. Like, comment, subscribe. We see it all because we're tiny and we appreciate it. We always come back, even if it takes a long time for us to post.
We are here.
We're never dead. We're never dead until we are. Eventually we'll be dead, but hopefully that'll be a long time down the road and it won't just suddenly the channel's dead. But yeah, so I guess we'll get on and start with the Dany chapter.
Yeah.
Dany.
Yeah.
It's a Daenerys chapter, and Dany is arriving in...
I don't remember. It's a place.
Qarth.
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 I would have thought with a C and not with a Q.
Yep, it's Qarth. Or I guess, like... If I'm assuming that the Q means something other than a regular K sound, then it'd be like Qarth.
Yeah.
Qarth. But on the walls of Qarth, men beat gongs to herald her coming, and they're blowing horns, and...
Yeah, because they all want her dragons.
Yeah,
they're all trying to get on her good side because of the dragons.
Columns of camels riding through the city as her honor guard, and, you know, everything's fancy and pretty and bright. Qarth is this beautiful city in the desert that is full of colors and trade, and Qarth is the greatest city that ever was or ever will be, Pyat Pri had told her. It is the center of the world, the gate between north and south, the bridge between east and west, ancient beyond memory of man, and so magnificent that Sathos the Wise put out his eyes after gazing upon Qarth for the first time, because he knew that all he saw thereafter should look squalid and ugly by comparison. So, we have... Last time we saw Dany, she was out wandering the desert.
Right, and it was a bad time, and I was suspicious of the place that she was at, but it seems fine. Yeah,
it seems fine. She was wandering the desert like Jesus.
Yeah.
She was following the star.
Right.
And the bleeding star, and then 3 wise men showed up and found her, like Jesus.
Yeah.
Are we getting that she's a messianic figure? And the 3 people...
And also, the dragons could probably do good against the fucking ice up north.
Yes, that is a thought that a lot of people have had. No one in universe is currently having those thoughts, but it's a thought that a lot of us have.
Well, because they don't really, like...
They don't really know that any of that shit's, like, happening. The only people...
And if they do have any inkling, they throw them in prison and let the evidence rot.
Yes. The only people who have even a slight notion that... The only people who really know that the White Walkers are a threat and doing bad shit are the wildlings.
Yes.
And then... The Wall knows that something's going up, and we should be concerned about it, that the dead are rising, but no one else even really knows or cares.
Do we have a Jon chapter at all in this section?
No. I don't think we have a Jon chapter during this section.
I'm going to briefly derail.
Okay.
Since there's not a Jon section, I'm just going to do a little derailment here.
Sounds good.
Because we were talking about stuff yesterday.
We were talking about some stuff yesterday. Yes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided to, because I love maps, so I was looking at the map again, and I'm like, I've been paying so much attention to, like, the south, where, like, all sorts of stuff has been happening, but I'm like, well, let's look at the north map, and the north map is very scary. I don't...
Right, yeah, you've been talking about some shit that I've never seen literally anyone talk about. Because, like, people do look at maps and be like, you know, here's some stuff, but I've never seen anyone talk about the shit that you were talking about, which is very interesting to me.
Because, like, to me, looking at the landmass,
yes,
like, it's, like, it's bigger, and then it, like, goes, like, in a little bit, and then the wall goes...
Yeah, the wall...
Goes
like,
basically from the shore, close to the shore on the east, to the mountains to the west. It doesn't go through the mountains, it stops at the mountains. It stops basically right at where this river meets the mountains, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then, but if you go up those mountains and then to the west some more, there's this whole plain of...
Right, if you're looking at the map in the front of the book, there's the north.
And it looks like a river goes there, too.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's the frozen shore and the Bay of Ice, and in the middle of the Bay of Ice is Bear Island, where, like, the Mormonts are.
Right, which, so then, if the Mormonts are there, then that's traversable to, like...
To, like, regular people.
So, like, to me, I'm, like... And maybe I'm just throwing out some nonsense. I'm just being insane. Because I don't know anything, and I'm in book 2.
Right. But you're like, them White Walkers are going to be coming down through the Bay of Ice.
I feel like there's no reason for them to need to come down through the wall when they can just, like... It's so short and easy to, like, so, but the thing is I don't know, technology-wise, like, what sailing capability they have. I feel like that's the only thing...
The White Walkers. Yes.
If they have, like, I don't know if they do or don't have any type of, like, sailing capability. That would be
also
the only thing.
Because also sometimes there's, like, magical reasons. Like, you know, the whole, like, vampires can't cross running water kind of thing. So, like... Not that I know anything about this, but, like, maybe there's some sort of magical reason why the White Walkers can't go across the water.
It is, that entire section is cut off by a river. If you really wanna...
Yeah, if you...
like, use the, like, the whole... Because, like, that's a thing with, like, fae and, like, demons sometimes, or whatever, and, like, the supernatural like that.
I feel like they can cross rivers, though, because there's a lot of rivers and stuff.
It depends, because, like, sometimes running water is a thing with, like, supernatural, like, beings and stuff like that, like, fae beings and stuff like that. Like, that is, like, a...
Right.
Thing like that, like a big, like a like body of running water like that.
Yeah.
So it could be something where, like, they just, like, they are physically, like, stopped kind of at that location, like, at the river, so they can't get to that section of the landmass there.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. My whole thing is, I was just looking at that whole section
Bear
of
Island's
land.
got too many bears, can't cross that way.
Can't cross that way.
Too many bears.
I think, no, they're coming with zombie bears.
The
White Walkers are showing up with zombie bears.
No, I think that if there's one thing that can stop a White Walker, it's just a regular-ass bear. It's just a regular bear.
But yeah, so I'm just, like...
Yeah, so we were like, talking about that sort of stuff.
Some
theories.
Yep.
Had to pause for a second to take a phone call, but we're back, and we were talking about theories about the White Walkers coming down from the north.
Yeah, so my whole thing is that I am less concerned about the wall, actually, and more concerned about, like, them coming around the other side, unless there's some stuff that I don't know.
Right, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's something that I don't think I've ever seen anyone, like, talk about that before, and I'm like, I don't really see any reason why that, like, would.
Yeah, I'm like, because that just, like, I don't know, I'm very... Tekking is so right with his geography is everything line. I, like...
Yep.
I love, like, maps and, like, the geography of that. And it's so, like, in, like, a big, like, fantasy series with, like, strategy and, like, all that type of stuff like that, I love trying to, like, find stuff like that and see the, like, logistics on a map. And so seeing that, I'm just like, it's too close. That land is too close.
Yeah.
On that side, there's no... That wall doesn't go all the way through. Like, that wall... I was, like, looking at it and I'm like, that's not nearly as big as a wall as... the area, and, like, because it's also, like, about, like, manning the wall, and, like, all of that type of stuff, because, like, yeah, the wall is, like, lowly manned, but also, like, those mountain, like, any of that, like, area, or, like, the coast around there, but they don't really know that the White Walkers are, like, coming. They were not really, like...
Right, they're not really, like...
looking in that way. So,
yeah.
Those are my thoughts. My, like, completely out of this chapter, like, yeah, completely,
Well, next, our very next chapter after this section... Our next section is going to start with a Jon chapter.
Maybe I should have saved that for then.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, these are thoughts that you're having now, and, like, who knows when we'll get to record again.
Yep. Yeah, true.
Because also, like, the next thing that we're going to record is probably going to be, like, Cradle, so, But
yeah, so back to the Dany chapter after my big tangent there.
Yes, which, I mean, you're talking about crazy magic stuff.
Yeah.
And Dany is hanging out with, Pyat Pri.
Yeah.
He's one of the 3, like, wise men or whatever, and he is a warlock, so they say. He has blue lips, and he calls himself a warlock. He's the one who's talking about how great and wonderful Karth is, because it's, like, him and this other guy, who I will find his name real quick, Xaro Zoan Daxos, and Quaithe. Those were the 3 people who found Dany. Pyat Pri is a warlock, and he's, I believe, got like a shaved head and blue lips. That I keep forgetting this guy's name. Xaro Zoan Daxos is like a very wealthy dude. He's more like a powerful merchant type. The merchant prince, Xaro Zoan Daxos. And he, I'm sure, has a physical description somewhere. And then there's Quaithe, who's the mysterious one, who Pyat Pri and Xaro Zoan Daxos, they're very obviously vying for Dany's attention. Right. They're, like, promising all sorts of things. Because Pyat Pri is like, I'm a warlock, and me and my warlock buddies, we got all kinds of cool magic stuff, and we can give you fucking anything you want. And, Xaro is like, I'm rich and can give you anything you want. But as we're coming into Karth, there's 3 thick walls encircled Karth, and they're elaborately carved. The outer one was red sandstone, 30 feet high, and decorated with animals, snakes and fish and all the sorts of things. The middle wall, 40 feet high, was gray granite and alive with scenes of war, swords and shields and heroes and people dying and death and all this sort of stuff. And then the innermost wall was 50 feet of black marble with carvings that made Dany blush until she told herself that she was being a fool. She was no maid. She could look at the gray walls, scenes of slaughter. Why should she avert her eyes from the sight of men and women giving pleasure to one another? Which, I think is funny.
Yeah.
It's like, Dany, you're too young to have experienced the things that you have experienced.
Yeah, right.
when it comes to sex, but
violence,
both. But there is, I feel like George is almost sort of poking a little bit of fun at that sort of thing that's very much a thing here in the U.S., which is somewhat less of a thing in some places, but still like kind of a thing in. Of this, like, we're more willing to depict violence than we are sex and nudity, which is just kind of like a funny little thing, where it's like, you can have over-the-top violence, and it's more okay.
It'll be like PG-13 or whatever.
Right, it's like, you know, you can play, Fallout and have, like, you know, and, explode someone's head in, like, gory detail. But if 2 characters are implied to have sex, we gotta, like, fade to black.
Right,
it's just like a different thing, and it's just kind of funny. The outer gates were banded with copper, middle with iron, the innermost were studded with golden eyes.
Golden eyes?
Yes, the innermost gates have golden eyes. And everything's just super colorful. People are wearing really colorful clothes, and all the colors that had been missing from Vias Toloro had found their way to Karth. There's like all these like towers, and it's all super fancy. The Karthine are tall, pale folk in linen and samite and tiger fur, everyone a lord or lady to her eyes. The women wore gowns that left one breast bare, while the men favored beaded silk skirts. Which the whole one boob out thing is something that does not make it into the show.
Which is surprising, because the show is known for putting, like, nudity all over the place, and, like, for, like, having the whole, like, term of sexposition.
Yes.
Like...
and so it's a little surprising the things that they sort of, like, do and don't sort of commit to. Yeah. And also the show's a lot less, like, colorful and bright in a lot of ways than the books are. I
hope One Piece starts to, maybe, like, live action, maybe starts to get some more color back in our fantasy.
Yes, because... the One Piece live action show has been very good. It's been
great.
And we'll probably talk about it during our sort of like what we've been reading section.
Yeah, we might have talked about it last time too, but we'll talk about it again.
Well, because the second season, had that come out by the time we did the last one? Because that was like a while ago.
I thought maybe we went to see it already, but maybe not.
Maybe we'd been to... I don't know that we
maybe
had.
Not. Maybe not.
Because we went and saw it, and almost immediately after it is when I got sick.
Oh.
Almost immediately after going and seeing the premiere in theaters is when I got sick, because that's probably why I got sick. It's because I went and saw the premiere in theaters.
Yeah. Okay, so probably not then.
Yeah, so I don't think that we've seen it, and we haven't talked about our our various interactions with Mel and T about the live action.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is you know, we're fans of Mel and T and her One Piece takes. But her One Piece live action takes we disagree with.
No offense.
Yeah, they're simply wrong. Sorry.
Maybe not wrong to you. Your specific, version, whatever. It can be wrong to your specific interpretation, but your specific interpretation is not everyone's specific interpretation, and you aren't the only correct interpretation in the world.
Yes, you're not the sole arbiter of how someone can interpret Sanji's character.
Specifically Sanji.
Specifically. I know that he's your little guy, but and we probably shouldn't be getting into this now.
We are talking about Game of Thrones. Let's get back to Game of Thrones.
Yes. But yeah, Dany's here. Everything's crazy.
Oh, yeah, colorful. That's what we're talking
about. Bright. Everything's nice. The place is super rich.
Yeah.
The ladies have their tits out and the men are wearing skirts.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But we haven't gotten the turn of this place yet.
No, we have not yet the inevitable turn of this place.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Dothraki call the Carthene milkmen for their paleness. I'm like, if you're living in the middle of the desert, why are these dudes so pale?
Yeah.
That's a little odd. Like the Dothraki aren't. The Dothraki are like, copper skinned or whatever, and they're like living out in the fucking fields or whatever. Yeah. They're riding around in the Dothraki Sea. But then out here in the middle of the desert, we have these like people who are even paler. Maybe the idea is because they live in this city and they're inside all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they come from somewhere else and have like colonized or something. Who knows? But she's riding through and she's like, wow, me and these Dothraki like stand out, and like we must look so barbaric and savage to them or whatever. Piatri and Zarazon and Daxos are like vying for her attention, promising her all sorts of things.
Because everyone wants these dragons.
Yes.
Everyone wants access to these dragons.
Yes. Yes, come with me to the House of the Undying, and you shall drink of truth and wisdom, Piatri says. So Piatri is talking about someplace called the House of the Undying, and says that Dany should come there, and that's where his, like, warlock stuff is. Meanwhile, Zaro is like, the 13 shall set a crown of black jade and fire opals upon her lovely head, and so, like, there's, like, these 13 sort of merchant princes or whatever who, he's sort of, like, talking on behalf of, and it's like, we're gonna give her all this sort of stuff, so come to us, and Piapri's like, no, come to us, to the House of the Undying, and all that sort of stuff. The only palace I desire is the Red Castle at King's Landing, my lord. Dany was wary of the warlock. The Magi, Miriam Azjar, had soured her on those who played at sorcery.
Right.
So she's like, I know better than to trust this shit. There's a saying in Karth, a warlock's house is built of bones and lies. Then why do men lower their voice when they speak of the warlocks of Qarth? All across the east their power and wisdom are revered. Once they were mighty, but now they are as ludicrous as those feeble old soldiers who boast of their prowess long after strength and skill have left them. They read their crumbling scrolls, drink shade of the evening until their lips turn blue, and hint of dread powers, but they are hollow husks compared to those who went before.
Interesting.
So there's this, like, continued notion in this book of, like, because whenever we get to Bran's chapter,
right.
the next one after this, when he's talking to the Maester, there's this idea that, like, maybe magic used to be a thing, but it's not anymore. Like, the Maester's like, maybe magic used to be this great power, but now it doesn't seem to be a thing, and we've tried to do magic and it doesn't work. The Warlocks used to be this, like, powerful group.
Has it just been, like, lost? Like, the knowledge lost? Or, like, the actual, like, you know, like, the things that used to work don't work?
Good question. Hard to say. Because also it's, like, the alchemists. They're like a guild. They can still make wildfire, but all the other stuff that they did, it's like, nah, that shit doesn't work, and the Maesters are like, they know what's going on. So it's like, well, did the shit that the alchemists do used to work, but now it doesn't anymore? The shit that the warlocks did worked, but now they're like, oh, they're just like a husk of what they used to be, and they're like reading dusty tomes and drinking shade of the evening, which don't know what shade of the evening is, but apparently it turns your lips blue.
For like, it said for like a fake power or whatever.
Yeah,
they
like,
drink it for a specific...
Well, it just says that they drink shade of the evening until the lips turn blue, and hint of dread powers, but they are hollow husks compared to those who went before.
Okay. And hint of
Yeah, so saying that the warlocks hint of dread powers, but they don't really have anything to show for it.
Gotcha. I was thinking that they were saying that the drink was a hint of powers.
Got you. Yeah, no, he's just sort of like listing, like... Yeah, the warlocks read scrolls, drink shade of the evening, and hint at powers.
Okay.
Is sort of what he's saying. And so then Zara, like, he rides off, and Jorah's like, yeah, pot calling the kettle black. These merchants aren't that great either. They're also kind of, like, hollow or whatever. And he's like, you should avoid both of them. Those men will help me to my crown. Zara has vast wealth, and Pyat Pri pretends to power. He sort of, like, finishes for her. And he's like, I don't like this place. I don't trust it. And Dany's like, oh, you. Like, in her head, she's like, you know, I am his queen, but I'll always be his cub as well. He'll always guard me. And she's like, it makes me feel safe, but also, like, I don't like him as much as he likes me.
Yeah.
Which I kind of feel bad about, but also, like, whatever. Also, he views me as, like, kind of a daughter, but also he's like into me,
which is a little
which is like weird, you know. But yeah, all of Qarth will come to see my dragons, Dany thought.
It's also interesting because Dany's been getting used to doing it like the kind of Dothraki way.
Yes.
So she hasn't been playing the game, like the political game, in the way that like the rest of the kind of world would understand. So that's just interesting.
Yep, she's been with the Dothraki that are a lot more sort of straightforward. They come in and they conquer things.
They're very different culturally, and she like really embraced it and really like kind of threw herself into it. But yeah.
Pyat Pri. So Pyat Pri. This is like This isn't like an important thing, but this is a thing that like makes me wonder. He gives her a jar of ointment that he swore would let her see the spirits of the air. And I'm like, that's... I don't know... Because in D&D, like, there's a spell that lets you, like, see into the ethereal plane.
Yeah.
And the material components for it is an ointment that you rub on your eyes that lets you, like...
Gotcha,
see into the ethereal plane. And, like... Because, like, Caduceus uses it at one point in campaign 2, he, like, uses it, like, on Bo, and Bo's, like, tripping out at a party because she can, like, see the ethereal plane with it. And so I'm like, I don't know if this is a reference to that, or if D&D was making a reference to something. That George is, like, also making a reference to, but I'm like, that's a D&D spell. We don't ever see her, like, use this ointment to know if it, like, works or not, but it's just, like, a thing that Piotr gives her that's like, ooh, mysterious warlock shit. But the last to leave is Quaithe, the Shadowbinder. From her, Dany received only a warning. Beware. Of whom? Of all. They shall come day and night to see the wonder that has been born again into the world, and when they see, they shall lust, for dragons are fire made flesh, and fire is power. And Jorah's like, she's right, but I don't trust her either. And Quaithe is a woman in a red lacquer mask. And we never get any, like, real description of this mask, besides red and lacquer.
Yeah.
So, yep. So... And she's like a Shadowbinder, which, so it's like, we know, because the thing is also that, like, we know that Mirri Maz Duur, like, learned magic, and that she was, like, doing magic back before, like, so it's like, there's the idea that, like, magic used to exist but doesn't anymore. But we know that's not completely true, because, like, Mirri Maz Duur was, like, has been doing magic. We see, like, magic happening.
Which is why I think that, like, it's, like, was lost more than, like, like, knowledge was lost more than, like, the specific things are not working. But maybe I'm wrong.
Right. Yep. And...
Like, even the dragons, like, could someone else have put together a ritual? Because, like, Dany's ritual was very, like, specific with, like, the, like, with Drogo and the comet and the, like, everything about it was very in the heat of the moment and kind of specific.
Right.
But could someone else have put together something to bring those dragons back, you know? Like...
Good question.
So, like, is it a knowledge thing, or is it a actual, like magic thing?
Like, magic is returning sort of thing.
Right.
Good question. Yep. Dany is like, remember Mirri Maz Duur, remember treachery. These people can betray you, so, like, don't trust them too much. You've only seen the parts of Qarth that Piotr wished us to see. Rakaro, go forth and look on the rest and tell me what you find. And then she's like, Jorah, go to the docks.
Right, and get info from
anyone who might have been coming from Westeros. And they, like, argue about it a little bit because, you know, he's like, I should be by your side. And she's like, no, go do this because you're the only person who fucking knows how to speak the language.
Yeah.
So, like, go see if you can get some information. And so...
Which also, he's in a little bit of danger, too. Like, going and getting this type of information. Because, like, he's been, like... compromised, basically. You know, like, he's no longer following his, like, doing shit, you know, like...
He's no longer, like, following his directives to be, like, the one who's spying on her.
Right. So, like...
So he goes off, and he goes
but
to
I don't think Dany really knows or understands that. So, like, it's also like, oh, this is a bit dangerous for me to just go and get information, but he doesn't want to just, like... Say that. Because I think she would just be like, oh, if you're, like, in danger, like, you don't, you know? Like, I think she would just be like, okay, I don't want you to put yourself in danger unnecessarily.
Right, but if she also knew, like, sort of, like, why he was in danger because of that, because he had been, like, snitching, then she would be very much unhappy about that, I imagine. Yes and no.
I don't know, like, maybe she would be that upset.
Yeah. Do you think that that's gonna, like...
It could.
At some point?
It could.
That's gonna, like, be a tension between them?
With people that she likes and cares about enough, she gives them second chances.
Yeah.
Like, tends to. At least what we've seen in her past. Maybe this will be different. But, like, I'm thinking about, like, with her brother. Like, and that's a specific relationship. But, like, chance after chance after chance until it was, like, okay, like... too bad. She doesn't seem to be, like, very... I find something out and then boom, like, okay, fuck you, we're, you know... Well, she did that with Mirri Maz Duur, so, like, that's a little bit different. But that was already kind of an antagonistic relationship. She's close with him, so think she might give him more of a
sort of like second chance or benefit of the doubt kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's my view of her character at the moment.
Got you. Yep. She's been set up so like she's in Zarzo and Doxus's like palace.
Yeah.
He's like given her like a whole like wing of his palace, and his palace is like huge. It's like bigger than like a lot of like marketplaces, like full market squares and stuff.
Sounds very safe.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm setting up guards to like guard around like my like
you still
wing.
probably don't want to be staying where they're setting you up, but
right.
Who knows?
But it's like a super
where do you even go?
Right. It's a super like beautiful, lavish place. She's got like this big like pool to bathe in that has like fish that like nibble on her as she's like bathing and stuff, and it's like, ooh, it tickles and it's fun until it's like until she gets like tired of it. But she's there and she's thinking about Westeros, and she's like, you know, she wondered what Aegon's wondered if Aegon's Red Keep had a pool like this and fragrant gardens full of lavender and mint. It must, surely. Viserys always said that the Seven Kingdoms were more beautiful than any other place in the world.
Yeah.
And she's like, Viserys said it was the most beautiful place in the world. But then also, later, like, at the bottom of this page, at the next page, Viserys had believed that the realm would rise for its rightful king, but Viserys had been a fool, and fools believe in foolish things. So it's like, when it's convenient, she believes the thing that Viserys said, but otherwise doesn't believe in him and the things that he said. So that's just kind of interesting. And she's like, okay, so like I have some Dothraki, but in order to go take back the Seven Kingdoms, I don't have enough.
Yeah.
I don't have enough people. I don't have enough military might.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the power to do that. You know, Khal Drogo was going to do that, but now his Khalasar has like split up. You know, when he died, there was infighting, and then they all split up, and now I have like a few people, but this isn't enough.
And it's like mainly like the like kind of.
The
older and younger.
Yeah, like, the older, the young, the like a lot of women, things like that. And she's like, also the Dothraki are like raiders. They go in, they raid a place, they plunder. It's like, I don't want to turn the Seven Kingdoms into a smoldering ruin.
Yeah.
I want it to be beautiful and wonderful and plentiful, and I want them to smile at me as I go down the road. But before she could do that, she must conquer. Yeah. And so it's like, it's this whole thing of like, I want everything to be great and good and wonderful and beautiful and no more hardship, but first I gotta do a bunch of murder about it.
Yeah.
Because I deserve to rule, because I am the rightful ruler.
Yep. Which is where it's coming from all in Westeros right now. Yep.
It's just like, you know, everyone's fighting over who's the rightful king. And, like, Renly's like, I'm not even the rightful king, but I just,
and I know it.
And I know it, like, not by law, but, like, I just deserve it because I'd be the best at it. And then, like, Stannis is like, no, but, like, the rules say that I should be king. It's like, well, actually, technically, the rules say that, like... that Dany should be in charge, actually, when you really think about it. Because, like, you know...
Although, who did the Targaryens take it over from again? If we're doing the whole thing.
Right, exactly, because it's like Robert had the same right to rule that the Targaryens did by right of conquest. Because the thing is that back then the Seven Kingdoms were 7 kingdoms, and they like united them under like one thing by having dragons and forcing them to.
Right. Because they were talking about like when they came and took over, it was like Dragonstone. Is that what it was? Like, they had just built it, and then they took it over? Or was that Harrenhal?
Harrenhal.
Yeah, cursed.
Yes, because Harrenhal, he, like, built the biggest, bestest castle in the world. It's gonna be great. And, like, as soon as he, like, finished it, this huge thing, immediately the fucking Targaryens show up and dragon melt it. But they never got Dorne. They had to marry Dorne in order to get them to be part of it, because Dorne knows about guerrilla warfare. That's always how it goes.
Can I see the map?
Yes. So
we've looked at Dorne before, but
yes, because Dorne is down here at the bottom, And also there's, like, mountains.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I bet there's mountains.
Yep. Dorne is very mountainous, and they know about guerrilla warfare.
You're like, they didn't get Dorne, they had to marry in. And I was like, I bet there's mountains. That's why I wanted to look at the map, because I'm like, I bet there's mountains.
Yep.
Geography.
Geography is everything.
The maps. I love maps. We need a map for Campaign 4 so bad. Brennan, you're not listening to this. Give me a map.
Right. Meanwhile, I'm the opposite. I never look at a map. It doesn't matter. They are where they are. They'll be where they're gonna be. It doesn't matter. If it's important, they'll let me know.
I'll look at the map, and then I'm like reading, and then I'm like, ooh, what about this? And then I'm like, okay, let's go back and look at the map again. And like, I look at the map like a bunch of times, and every new like theory or new whatever, I'm like, okay, why does that make sense with the map?
Right.
Especially for a fantasy book like this.
Yeah, I have like a fantasy.
I miss it for Cradle.
Yeah.
Like I miss the kind of big like map aspect of it. Like Cradle's not doing that same
type of thing.
thing. So like I'm good with it and I really enjoy that. But I do miss maps sometimes.
Yeah, I have like a fantasy thing that I want to write, and thinking about like maps for it, I'm like, ugh. It's like I need to do some map stuff for it, kind of, but I'm like, I don't like it.
Maps can also like tell you about the people who live there. I feel like, and just like with what we were just saying, like they didn't get Dorne because like there had to have been some sort of like geographical reason as to why that was difficult for them to do or whatever, and like even with like dragons, like air superiority, like fucking hiding in the mountains are fucking good.
Yep.
You know, like.
Yep. Oh, and there's also one specific line from here. I want my people to smile when they see me ride by the way Viserys said they smiled for my father.
Yes.
So it's like she believes Varys' propaganda until literally the bottom of the page, where it's like Viserys said that they'd rise for their king, but he was a fool who believed foolish things.
Yeah.
Like that the people smiled when your father rode by.
Yeah,
they hated your father.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that, and she just wants to believe that that was the case. And so, you know, when it's convenient for her to believe what Viserys believed, she does, and when it's not, she doesn't.
Yep.
And so she... And it's interesting because she's like... I've gone through so much hardship, which she has. She's gone through some really terrible shit. But she's also like, I deserve to rule.
Yeah.
I have the right, and I'm...
Because of my bloodline, too.
Yeah,
like,
because of my bloodline, I'm the blood of the dragon, and I simply deserve it. And it's also like, she climbs out of the pool and calls for her two handmaids to come towel her off and you know, clothe her and dry her and all this sort of stuff. So it's like she exists kind of like Tyrion in this interesting sort of place of both privilege and lack of privilege. She has like a lot of privilege, but also a lot of things that like have genuinely like been bad that have gone against her. That,
which is a pretty like big... I feel like another big theme in these books in general is like most of the characters that we've been with have different varieties of like they're very privileged but also like ostracized in some way or like part of, you know, like
or in some way the culture has like done harm to them.
Right. Like I mean, like you can do that with like you can do that with like Catelyn and with like.
With Tyrion and it's interesting. Like so much of this is about like, you know, all these people who are like, well, I've had it hard. It's like, yeah, everyone's had it hard.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't have privilege. I've had it hard. You can have both.
Yep, exactly.
It can be both.
It's something that I've enjoyed that Campaign 4 has been doing with a lot of their characters recently. It's been very fun.
Yep. And she's also like the star, the bleeding star. It's a sign that like and the gods will give me a sign that like, you know, what I'm doing is right.
Hers does feel closest.
Yes.
So all the ones that have been happening throughout the book, hers does feel the most like a sign.
Yep.
But I don't know if it's less. I think it might be less of a sign and more of a made sign, a sign that like she like. Because it's kind of implied that she, like, used the comet, almost, like, in her...
Right, because she... Cause,
so like, less a actual sign and more a component to her spell, you know, like...
Yes. Right, yeah. Because there's this whole thing where it's like the bleeding star.
Yeah.
Like that was like as soon as like she saw it in the sky, I was like, yep, this is my sign. I'm gonna like fucking light up this pyre and do this whole ritual thing.
So maybe it wasn't kind of helped by that. So I don't know.
I mean, you never know. Because also it's like we also hear in the first book that's like, oh, there used to be like another moon, but it got too close to the sun and cracked open and dragons came out of it. It was a giant egg.
Oh,
Which kind of almost feels like maybe this comet has come around before and people have given it mystical significance before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's interesting. And so Jorah comes back, and he comes back with Kahuru Mo, Captain of the Cinnamon Wind. The
Cinnamon Wind.
Yes, the Cinnamon Wind. And he is this guy. He's from the Summer Isles. He's very explicitly called a black man. Yeah. It's like there are black people in Game of Thrones, and we see them and they're around occasionally. But he had been to Westeros. But also he speaks Valyrian, the Valyrian of the 9 free cities, and so like Daenerys is able to speak to him in Valyrian, even though he doesn't speak the common tongue of Westeros, and she doesn't speak the tongue of the Summer Isles. And he's like, guess what? Robert Baratheon's dead. Yeah. And she's a son had arisen in Dany's heart. Dead? And Drogon hisses. Drogon is there in her lap, and he hisses while this is going on. And then later, while she's talking to him, we also get that, we get the like, green dragon, I think. We get a mention of that one as well. Rhaegal, green Rhaegal, stared at the stranger with eyes of molten gold. When his mouth opened, his teeth gleamed like black needles. So we get these like little descriptions of like the dragons being like around her and like reacting to this guy. Because at the end of this conversation, he's gonna be like, "You've repaid me already because I've gotten to see dragons," which is just like incredible and like a miracle and whatnot. But he's like, it's like, are you certain the usurper said? So it is said in Old Town, and Dorne, and Lys, and all the other ports where we have called. So there's all these stories, torn by a monstrous boar whilst hunting in the Kingswood, or so I heard in Old Town. Others say his queen betrayed him, or his brother, or Lord Stark, who was his hand. Yet all the tales agree in this, King Robert is dead and in his grave. Yeah. The boy sits the Iron Throne now, King Joffrey reigns, but the Lannisters rule. Robert's brothers have fled King's Landing. Lord Stark, who is King Robert's friend, he has been seized for treason. And Jorah's like, that doesn't sound like Ned. Right. And it's like, yeah, but that's what I'm hearing. And Dany's just like so happy to hear about all this, because she had been thinking about King Robert and was like, his dogs, the Lannisters and the Starks, and like this sort of like her idea of them, which is so different from like our idea of them, because her image of Ned is so informed by this idea of like him being part of this rebellion that like overthrew her family. And it's like at that time, the Starks and the Lannisters were on the same side. Yep. But she doesn't know anything about, because that's also part of it. I
love all of this like massively delayed information and like skewed perspective. It's very fun.
Because also it's one of those things where it's like Dany doesn't know anything about like the local politics of the Seven Kingdoms.
No, not at all.
So for her to be like, I'm going to come in and rule this place. With no knowledge of what it's actually like to be there is just like, that's another sort of like interesting part of it.
But I don't even need to learn about it. It's very Viserys, to be honest, because he came into the Dothraki. I should just be able to, I don't need to learn the culture. It doesn't fucking matter. I can just throw like my weight around in the culture that I know of. This weight that I'm throwing around doesn't mean anything to them. It actually makes me look ridiculous. It's kind of that's fun. I didn't really
Yep.
I wasn't thinking about that too much, but I like that.
Yep, because Dany's just like, I have the right to rule, like, I should just go over there and do it, which doesn't really know, like, anything about what it's actually like over there.
Yeah.
You know, she has this, like, image of it that's, like, based off of the things that she's seen out here in Essos.
Right.
You know? She's like, certainly
which is,
it'll
like,
be as beautiful.
like, way downstream culturally, like, you know.
Yep. And Jorah's like, this doesn't really change much, the fact that he's dead.
No.
And Dany's like, this changes everything, because they're like... Because the Khalasar, when Drogo died, it fell into infighting and then broke up, which is the same thing that's happening back in Westeros.
Yeah.
And so I can just, like, swoop in and take advantage of that.
There is a lot of fracturing and infighting, but, like, it's a way bigger place than you think. And, you know, like...
Yep, because it's like...
It's also, like, whether you can use them against each other politically or not. Like, whether you're, like... Because, like... That's a big part.
Yep.
And whether you have it, like, militarily. Like, that's a lot to be fighting. Yeah.
But, yep, and she's like, my dude, could you take me to Westeros? And he's like, no, we're not going towards Westeros. We're, like, making our way around to different places. And I don't know why, I just thought this was kind of interesting. They're sailing east to make the traders circle around the Jade Sea. And I just thought that was an interesting little thing. This, like... idea of, like, how trade works.
Yeah.
But she's like, well, that sucks, but when I'm queen, I'm gonna fucking repay you for this. I'm gonna, like, you know, remember you and give you a bunch of shit. And he's like, you've already let me see dragons, and that's enough. And then he leaves, and Jorah's like, this doesn't really change much, and she's like, it changes everything. And Jorah's like, listen, like, you know, when the fighting, like, whoever wins, I'll tell you what that means.
Right.
But, like, you don't know anything about, like, what's going on there. He's, like, talking about, like, you know, she's like, I have borne a child, burned a call, and crossed the red waste in the Dothraki Sea. Mine is the blood of the dragon. As was your brother's, he said stubbornly.
Yeah.
I am not Viserys. No, he admitted, there is more of Rhaegar in you, I think, but even Rhaegar could be slain. Robert proved that on the Trident. With no more than a warhammer, even dragons can die. Dragons die, but so do dragon slayers, she says. And that's the end of the chapter. So Dany is still full of confidence.
Yep.
She's been bolstered by this news that Robert's dead. And it's like, all right, these guys, they've got, like, money and power.
Which actually might be more complicated than ever. Like...
Yeah.
Because, like, theoretically, and this wouldn't be as easy, but, as I'm saying, but, like, theoretically, she could go in, kind of take out the Lannister, like, whatever... And they did have allies. Like there were people who were allied with the Targaryens.
Right.
You know, like there would be people who then again saw this power and would again immediately flip sides. Like we've seen this, people follow the power. You know, there would be some, but like.
But also,
but now everyone's all kind of dug in their own factions. It would need to be a full, like, uniting sweep, like the first time the Targaryens came through.
Right, because it's also like. The North is like, we're becoming our own independent kingdom.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that's going to be more and more of a thing. Like, I don't know if we're ever going to see United Seven Kingdoms. This is just a full theory I'm just throwing out. Don't know anything.
Right.
But, like, I don't know if we'll see the Seven Kingdoms together again. Like, I think the kind of rest of the series is, you know. Yeah. There will be... maybe some of them come together and make, like, a smaller, you know, like, but there will still be factions, I think, doing other, you know.
Right. Yeah, because what Jorah's like, yeah, there's, like, fighting happening right now, but the houses fight each other all the time. Yeah. So this isn't necessarily, like, new. But they also don't know that, like...
like, actual, like, all the kings, like, declaring all over the place. They think it's more just, like, oh...
Like, people are, like, vying for power and stuff, you know. But they don't know that, like, no, this group is fully gone, like, independent. Like, these people are, like, fighting...
Which is, like, worse for them.
Yes. Because it's, like, the North
Unless they're prepared to, like, ally. But, like, who's gonna ally with them at this point? I don't know.
Yep. It's, like, you don't have, like, a unified kingdom that you're coming back to take over. You have, like, a fractured kingdom that you then have to, like, reunite. Yeah. But, yeah, is there anything else that we have to say about Dany's chapter?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, we spent a lot of time on this one.
Yeah.
'Cause we also, like, went off on some tangents,
We
but,
did.
like, there's a lot going on here. Like, Dany learns a bunch of new information. Dany's in, like, a new place, so we gotta get the place set up.
Yep,
There's, like, these
yeah.
new people who are all, like, vying for control over her and her dragons and stuff. So there's, like, a lot of stuff's happening with Dany right now. But, yeah, so that's it. Then we're ready to move on to Bran. We got another Bran chapter, and it starts. Bran is hanging out with the kids, the Reed kids,
with the green kids.
Mira and Jojen. I have a easier time remembering Jojen's name than Mira's.
I have not been able to remember their names yet.
So he's hanging out with them. Mira is playing with Summer, his wolf. They're like fake fighting, like play fighting with each other. And like Mira gets Summer like trapped in a net, and there's like this whole thing where it's like Summer like jumps at her, and she throws the net, and Summer pounces through and like lands on her and like knocks her back, but he's caught in the net. But Summer's caught in the net. So like Bran's like, Summer wins, and then Jojen's like, no, she won because Summer's caught in the net and can't get out.
Yeah.
Which feels like some sort of a metaphor.
Yeah.
I don't know for what, but this feels like intentional, you know. But they start talking, and they're talking, they're laughing, they're having a good time. He likes hanging out with the Reeds more than he likes hanging out with the Walders, or with the Freys.
Right.
And everything's...
Yeah, because the Freys suck.
The Freys do suck. They're having a good time. Bran is, like, wrestling and rolling around with Summer and having a fun time, and everything's great, and Mira's like, he doesn't ever get, like, angry, and he's like, oh, not with me. Never drawn blood. Sometimes he, like, tears my clothes some, but, like, he's never, like, made me bleed or anything. And, it's like, your blood, you mean? He wouldn't hurt you. He knows I like you. And, we get some, like, talk about them. The Reeds had stayed to become Bran's constant companions. Jojen was so solemn that old Nan called him Little Grandfather.
Little Grandfather. I love that.
Yep, it's very cute. But Mira reminded Bran of his sister Arya. She was older than Arya, though. Almost 16, a woman grown. Which, like, alright. And it's like, I wish that...
It makes more sense from Bran, because Bran does the whole almost a man grown. He's been, like, doing that.
Yep, because he's, like, turned 9 now?
Yeah.
We get that at some point here. And, he's also, like, asking them about where they come from and stuff, and it's like, we have no knights at Greywater, no master-at-arms, and no maester. Who keeps your ravens? Ravens can't find Greywater Watch, no more than our enemies can. Why not? Because it moves. Bran had never heard of a moving castle before, which their dad is Howland Reed, so it's Howl's moving castle.
Which... We briefly talked about this, like, outside of the podcast. I think is I wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, actually a reference to, like, the book. Yes.
Because the movie Howl's Moving Castle came out after this book did.
Yes.
But the book
has been around.
But the book has, like, been around, and so, like, wouldn't be surprised if that's, like, an actual reference. Because, like, listening to Alt Swiftx talk about this, he's like, there's other sort of, like, little jokes and references in these books, like there's like there's a reference to, like, Tor, the like fantasy, like, publishing house.
I was gonna, when you said Tor, I'm like the fantasy. Yes,
because there's like one of the houses is like Tor or like of Tor or something like that, and like also one of the, like, I can't remember what he says. It's like somewhere in, like, the Riverlands there's a family that has a, like, a Kermit and a Grover and a like, you know, and there's like just like various little, like, silly little references like that. So it's like, wouldn't be surprised if the Howl's Moving Castle was like a actual reference here. Oh yeah, and then he's like, oh, I should go see it sometime, and it's like, you know, you'd be most welcome, you know, then or now. It's like, now I could go to Howland's place now, and he's like, I should ask Sir Roderick when he returns. The old knight was off east trying to set to rights the trouble there. Roose Bolton's bastard had started it by seizing Lady Hornwood as she returned from the harvest feast, marrying her that very night, even though he was young enough to be her son. Then Lord Manderley had taken the castle. To protect the Hornwood holdings from the Boltons, he had written, but Sir Roderick had been almost as angry with him as with the bastard. Sir Roderick might not let me go. Maester Lewin never would.
Yeah.
Like, the way that, like, Bran's like, yeah, there's some, like, really crazy political stuff happening where, like, Lady Hornwood has been, like, you know, has married the bastard of Bolton, even though he's, like, old enough to be, like, he's, like, kidnapped her, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're, like, going to go get this land back, and Sir Roderick's going to go deal with that, but that doesn't mean so much to him,
right,
so
he's just like, I don't know, he's gone, but when he gets back, you know, he's just, like, worried about, like, the person he knows.
Yeah, he's just worried about,
he's
like...
he's 9 years old.
It's like, oh, when he gets back, I'll have to ask him if I can go, go to Howland Reed's castle.
I think, reading, like, Bran's stuff, I think it's probably his best, especially, like, in this book.
When it comes to, like, the ages of
When it comes to the ages. Like, reading in his perspective has been fun, this book, because it really feels...
Like, he feels the most his age.
He feels like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, because Dany's got this whole thing where she's like, I'm both old and young. All this stuff has, like, aged me. I'm, like, 15 years old, but also... And it's
I just need one other perspective outside of Dany, looking at Dany.
Looking at Dany and being like,
I think
you
that's
child, you poor child.
I think that's what I need.
Yeah.
Because, like, we were talking about this a little bit. Because, like...
Because with Robb, we're always getting Robb from Catelyn's perspective.
Which is, like, the most... She's his mom. So it's the most... sympathetic to his age, specifically. And, like, very specifically focused on, like, innocence and growing up and like all of that type of stuff, really focused on his age. It feels like Dany needs something like that outside of her. Yeah. Like, and we don't get Robb's perspective at all, so we don't get him rationalizing his own experience with what's going on around him and his age, which I think is what we're kind of getting with Dany, but because we don't get the outside perspective, at least at this point, like, it's hard to like, see her more objectively. Like, with multiple views, you get still that, like, skewed perspective of someone else, but you, the audience, can put together a fuller picture using multiple points of view.
Because it's like, I feel like there's maybe on some level that we're supposed to kind of, like, as an audience, try and, like, give her that, even though, like, because, like, we get it very explicitly with Robb, but not with her, and, like, we're maybe kind of supposed to transfer some of those feelings, like, onto her, but, like, everyone in her life sees her as, like, she is a queen, and she is this messianic figure, she has all this power.
And she is mother.
Yes.
Which is specific, like, that's the other part that I'm like, that I don't love.
Yeah. The amount that, like, motherhood is, like, a part of her character, and, like... And, like, that makes sense, and, like, from Dany's perspective, her trying to, like, hold on to that kind of, like...
But I want to see it as, like, fucked up from someone else's point of view, because she doesn't see that way and can't see it that way, because she has to, like...
Yep, and all the people, like, close to her also kind of don't see it that way.
Right, and it's kind of... It's a little sad and frustrating that you get that for Robb.
For Robb and not her.
Right.
Yeah. Which makes sense. It's like, we're definitely supposed to get, like, a general vibe of, like, these kids are too young for this shit. But, like, with Dany, her and everyone around her are doing so much of, like... She's, like, the chosen one. She has this, like, star that's guiding her way. She's got these, like, dragons. She's, like, destined for greatness. And she's, like... 15, but she's really an adult actually because of all this, like, stuff. She sees herself that way. Jorah is weirdly into her despite the fact that she's 15, but also sees her as a child. So, like, if we were in...
It also... I haven't read a lot of fantasy that, like, George R. R. Martin is... like, responding to, because, like, there's an era of, like, kind of, like, people talk about, like, the sword and sorcery kind of era of, like, fantasy, that, like, some of it is Oh, I got off on a tangent. Now I don't know where I was going. This was related.
Like, sort of like how that kind of, like, relates back to, like, the tropes.
Yes.
That, like, Dany's playing with.
Dany, because, like, it is typical, like, like, young male hero, like, kind of, like, similar age to Dany, seen as, like...
Yes.
Like, seen as more of an adult by the people around it. Like, that type of thing. Like, I could see him also playing... with that, but then I don't also love the cause it doesn't also fit super well with the, like, kind of sexual, like, motherhood, like, that type of aspects that get put in it. It feels like...
Yeah. Because it's, like, there's...
It is interesting. There's a lot to talk about. So, like, there's, like, there's...
because I feel like in the first book, we got, like, some things that felt like intentional, like, harsh juxtapositions to make you, the reader, feel like... this sort of shit's going on. And also, by the way, she, like, just turned 15.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be kind of like this, like, ooh, that makes me uncomfortable. But it doesn't, I feel like, it doesn't always, like, commit to that or lean on that, like, enough.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think there's a certain element to which we're supposed to feel like, you know, it's like, oh, these... that maybe we're supposed to get this sort of, like, young... teenage protagonist who's out here saving the world and doing all this sort of stuff, and then putting the sort of uncomfortability of, like, teen pregnancy on top of that, and making you go, like, when you make it a woman who has, like, a teen pregnancy,
it does,
makes you, like, be like, oh, if she's not old enough to be... if she's so young that her being, like, pregnant and a mother feels off, then, like,
then how about the rest?
Then all the rest of it. Yeah. But, like, I don't know that... If that is what it's supposed to be kind of going for, I don't know if it fully always succeeds. Yeah.
Like, there's definitely, like, a lot there and a lot to talk about. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting, for sure. It's like, there's a reason why people talk about it so much.
Yeah.
You know, the good and the bad. But we're with Bran right now.
Yes, we're sorry.
Who see, that's the thing. It's just, like, certain characters you just can't help but, like, kind of, like, come back to and, like, talk about. But Bran is having his own stuff because we're having a little bit of, like, playing with genre stuff in this Bran chapter as well. Yeah. Because Bran is having to confront, like, Jojen's, like, talking to him about, like, green seeing and stuff. Right. Where Jojen has the green sight. He has dreams that, Mira is like, he has dreams that, sometimes come true. And my brother has the green sight. He dreams things that haven't happened, but sometimes they do. To which Jojen says, "There is no sometimes, Mira." A look passed between them.
That's not great. Yeah. That's not a good thought. Sometimes comes true.
There is no sometimes, Mira. A look passed between them. Him sad, her defiant. Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
And also...
I think that means that kid's dead.
Well, because the thing is that Jojen keeps saying, like, something will be dangerous, and Jojen will be saying, don't worry about it, this is not the day that I die. Yeah. And so we really get this impression that Jojen has foreseen his own death. Yeah. And that's probably why he's so solemn and little grandfather.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But Mira's just like... No, she doesn't want to, like, accept it. And Bran's just like, oh, that's crazy.
I actually love Bran. I don't know what's gonna happen in the rest of this, but just, like, vibes from pop culture and, like, the ending of the show or whatever. Yeah. I am sad. Bran deserves better. Like, Bran, like, I love Bran, like, especially in this book, so far, I've really liked Bran, like, he's been a lot more interesting and stuff. The fans are so mean about Bran. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. What stuff are you sort of thinking about?
Like, people, so, like, this is, like, shit from the end of the show that I, like, kind of know. Or whatever. Like, something about him being king or something or whatever, and they're like, Bran the Broken, and the ha ha ha. I don't know, fans are mean. They're just, it's just like, I don't know, it's just very, like, oh, let's make fun of the disabled kid in a way that, like, they're not meaning to, but that's what ends up coming off, and I don't love it. It's just, like... I think I'm from what I've heard and stuff, the show did things poorly and like made things like whatever. Yeah. So then people are just like, aha, disabled kid in charge of stuff, Bran the broke, like, and are just they're just Bran's bullies in the books. Yeah. And I hate it. Yeah. And they're trying to like criticize the writing and like the end of the show, and I get it, but I just don't love how they treat Bran's character. Yeah, that's interesting, because I haven't seen a lot of that kind of stuff in particular. Yeah. But it's probably just because of, like, the select few people who I've seen talk about it. Yeah, who, like, you know, who are more, who are more actually, like, focused on, like, the writing and things like that, you know. Because, like, I have seen some takes. And people are just like, oh, like, stuff like that. No one cares about Bran. Why would Bran be, like a leader or whatever? No one cares about him. He's a nothing character. Like, all that type of shit. Which that does partly have to do with, like, how the show handles Bran. I wouldn't be surprised. Because it's, like, the show, from what I understand, because I've only seen so much of the show. Yeah. I've seen, like, the first few seasons of the show, but I, like, fell off after a while. Stuff. Yes, because, like, hearing Alt Shift X talk about it... Which, that's insane. That's, like, a huge part of his character. If you're cutting that, you're cutting Bran's character. What the fuck do you mean? That's a whole main character you just cut. Like, I think... I'm, like, getting mad on, like, the show's behalf years later. Fucking... Right, because from what I understand, they do cut a lot of the direwolf stuff. That's like, so crazy. That's a huge part. Yeah. Like, not... just for the Starks, but like thematically, they all tie into everyone thematically. Oh yeah, it's the first big symbol that you come across when you read Game of Thrones. You're reading it and you're like, oh, there's like a lot of symbolism to look in this book. This is all like laid out in front of you. Yeah, but themes are for 8th grade book reports. If you say that, I will hit you in the head. Yeah, well, you can go hit fucking D&D in the head. What? The showrunners. Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, David Benioff and David whatever. They were the... Themes are for... Yeah, they I'm pretty sure they were the ones who said that. Bitch, go back to 8th grade. Yeah. Please take it 4 more times, because I think you fucking need it. I'm pretty sure that they were the ones who said that when people were, like, talking about... Themes are, like, the core of of stories. They're not allowed to tell another story. They're not allowed to tell another story until... They're just not allowed. I love that you're getting to have this reaction now. What the fuck? Because this is the reaction everyone was having when they said that, like, you're not years a writer. Ago. You're just not a writer. No. Like, you need to go back to 10 years of school or some shit. And to 10 years of school and then go to another country to experience humanity and then fucking... then you can start writing again. Yep. You are not allowed to write if you don't care about people and you are unempathetic and if you don't care about fucking themes. Anyway. Yeah. One of my many rants, I suppose. Right. That's wild. Yep. So I'm just like... themes are like my crack in fucking stories. What are you talking about? Yeah, I guess David Benioff was the one who said that or whatever. Insane. No more writing for you. Yeah, David Benioff. I mean, that's what weren't they supposed to work on Star Wars after this? Isn't that what Disney said to them after fucking... Right, because it's like, they were gonna, like, they had, like, a contract thing for, like, Star Wars or something after this, but then, like, so, like, alright, we're gonna finish up Game of Thrones as quickly as possible because we're tired of it. Themes are for 8th grade book reports. I want to work on Star Wars. The most notorious non-theme. I want to work on Game of Thrones, the most notorious non-thematic fucking material. Fuck you. Oh yeah, I mean, hey, no, like, knowing how Star Wars fans are, honestly, someone who thinks that themes are for 8th grade book reports are the exact people that a lot of these Star Wars fans want working on Star Wars. I guess. Because it's like, because also it's like, there's like a little interview clip between, like, George Lucas and this other guy, and they're talking about, like, you know, it's like it's asymmetrical warfare, these little guys versus a big organized empire. You know, we call them
terrorists, and then he's like, my dad, we called them the Viet Cong. It's like, was that in your mind when you made this? Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like, he's just so open about it.
Exactly.
He's so, like, he just says it.
The original trilogy is about the Vietnam War, and the prequel trilogy is about the Iraq War.
Yep.
It just is.
It just
is. If you watch it with any amount of knowledge from, like, about, like, the time, if you watched it when you were a kid and you haven't watched it since, learn about the Iraq War first. Because no one fucking knows about history. I realized that recently no one knows anything about history, and it pisses me off. Anyway.
Yeah.
First learn about the Iraq War, then you can watch the movies and see, like, literal Senate conversations that happened about the Iraq War happening in Star Wars.
Yep. It's all right there.
It just is.
Yeah.
And then the new trilogy is about nothing.
Yeah, the new trilogy is about, hey, remember the original trilogy?
The new trilogy was written by people who thought themes were for 8th grade book reports, I think.
Yeah, well, because it's like the first movie in the third trilogy, because, like, what's his name? J.J. Abrams.
It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. And he talks like his...
It didn't say anything.
No, because he doesn't care about saying anything. He cares about mysteries.
But none of the mysteries were all that good either.
Because he doesn't care about... No,
he doesn't care about the solving, he cares about the mystery box. It's that's the whole thing.
Yes,
This whole thing is mystery box that don't really...
That whole speech he gives, that whole, like, talk he gives about, like, the mystery box or whatever, and it's just like...
If there's not a satisfying answer to your mystery, it's not a good mystery box, it's not a good fucking story.
No.
End all.
Oh, yeah. But bringing it back...
Yeah, sorry. Today's a rambling, ranting day, I suppose.
That's what podcasts are for. But...
We've been talking about Bran.
Yes, because he's like, tell me what's going to happen, Bran said. I will, said Jojen, if you tell me about your dreams.
Yes.
And then Bran gets real uncomfortable.
He's like, nah, what dreams? What do you fucking mean? No.
He thought of the golden man and the three-eyed crow, remembered the crunch of bones between his jaws and the coppery taste of blood. I don't have dreams. Maester Luwin gives me a sleeping draught. Do they help? Sometimes. Mira said, all of Winterfell knows you wake at night shouting and sweating, Bran. The women talk of it at the well and the guards in their halls.
Aww.
Yeah.
This poor kiddo.
This poor kid. And he doesn't want to talk about it. And Summer's getting, like, angrier and angrier as they're, like, talking about it.
Yeah.
And, like, poking him about it. And my brother dreams as other boys do, but the green dreams are different, and Jojen's got green eyes and stuff. I dreamed of a winged wolf bound to earth with gray stone chains. It was a green dream, so I knew it was true. A crow was trying to peck through the chains, but the stone was too hard, and his beak could only chip at them. Did the crow have 3 eyes? Jojen nodded. So, like, shit, like, he's just, like, saying shit from Bran's dreams, that Bran's like, how could you know about this? And he's getting upset, and Summer's getting more and more agitated, and Summer starts trying to attack them, and they have to, like, climb up a tree to, like, and they're like, call him off, and it's like, I can't, I'm not controlling.
I'm not doing anything.
And it's like, no, you are. You're controlling him right now, and he's feeling your anger, and he's, like, doing all this sort of stuff. And so, like, Bran calls Hodor to come in and kind of, like, chase him off. You are the winged wolf, Bran. The crow sent us here to break your chains. Is the crow at Greywater? No, the crow is in the north, at the wall, beyond the wall. When Jojen told our Lord Father that what he dreamed, he sent us to Winterfell. How would I break the chains? Open your eye. They are open, can't you see? 2 are open. I only have 2. You have 3. The crow gave you the 3rd, but you will not open it, because the crow pecked at his forehead in the dream. He had a slow, soft way of speaking. With 2 eyes, you see my face. With 3, you could see my heart. With 2, you could see the oak tree there. With 3, you could see the acorn the oak grew from, and the stump that it will one day become. With 2, you see no farther than our walls. With 3, you could gaze south to the summer sea, and north beyond the wall. Yeah. So... and Bran does try and, like, change the subject, but they're like, nope, we're not changing the subject, and that's when all the, like, wolf stuff happens. But yeah. Oh, and Jojen, he got like a really bad fever and he almost died, and that's when his stuff awoken. He had like a really bad fever that almost killed him when he had like a dream that like awakened his, when I think it might have been that the three-eyed crow showed up for him as well then. And that's when he got his like green sight and stuff. So it almost reminds me of like Snapping. From Mistborn. From Mistborn. But yeah, it's like these kids who are like on death's door when the three-eyed crow like shows up and is like, "Hey kid, you want some magic?"
Yeah. So we were talking off the podcast that it was like, I don't know, maybe they're descendant of the Children of the Forest or something.
Yes.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yes, because the Crannog men, in the neck, the people that like, Jojen and Mira, they're people. They're like smaller and thinner, and they have like the green sight and all this sort of stuff, which is all sort of like Children of the Forest-y. Because the Children of the Forest look like children, but they have had like magic and lived a long time, but they're all supposedly gone. Right. All the Children of the Forest are supposedly gone. And Bran's like, I'm gonna go talk to Maester Luwin and ask him about all this stuff.
Because Maester Luwin doesn't believe anything, and this is an easy person to go talk to.
Yes. And also he's like, now that Sir Roderick is gone, Maester Luwin is like solely running the castle. And then
Poor guy.
And then this kid shows up like, hey, please reassure me that magic isn't real. Ymir says her brother has the green sight. Does she now? You told me the Children of the Forest had the green sight. I remember. Some claim to have that power. Their wise men were called green seers. Was it magic? Call it what you want. Call it that for want of a better word, if you must. At heart, it was only a different sort of knowledge. What was it? No one truly knows. They're gone, and they took their wisdom with them, which plays into some of the thought that you're thinking about with, like, magic just sort of being, like, a knowledge that was lost.
Right.
But he's like, supposedly the Green Seers had power over the beasts of the woods and birds of the trees, even fish. Does the Reed Boy claim such powers? No, but he has dreams that come true sometimes, and it's like, everyone has dreams that, like, come true sometimes, but, like, you forget about all the dreams that, like, didn't come true.
Right.
It's just confirmation bias. And then he's, like, talking about his chain from the Citadel, at Old Town, from being a maester. It's made of different metals because you serve the realm, and the realms have different sorts of people. Every time you learn something, you get another link. Black iron is for ravenry, silver is for healing, gold is for sums and numbers. I don't remember them all. And then Luwin says, this is Valyrian steel. He said, a link of dark gray metal. Only one maester in 100 wears such a link. This signifies that I have studied what the Citadel calls the higher mysteries. Magic, for want of a better word. A fascinating pursuit, but of small use, which is why so few maesters trouble themselves with it. All those who study the higher mysteries try their own hand at spells sooner or later. I yielded to the temptation to, I must confess it, when, I was a boy. And what boy does not secretly wish to find hidden powers in himself? I got no more for my effort than 1,000 boys before me, and 1,000 since. Sad to say, magic does not work. There are mages and warlocks in the East. There are men who call themselves mages and warlocks. To be sure, there is much we do not understand. The years pass in their hundreds and their thousands. And what does any man see of life but a few summers, a few winters? We look at mountains and call them eternal, and so they seem. But in the course of time, mountains rise and fall, rivers change their course, stars fall from the sky, great cities sink beneath the sea, even gods die, we think. Everything changes. Perhaps magic was once a mighty force in the world, but no longer. What little remains is no more than the wisp of smoke that lingers in the air after a great fire has burned out, and even that is fading. Valyria was the last ember, and Valyria is gone. The dragons are no more, the giants are dead, the children of the forest forgotten, with all their lore. And it's like, well, we know the dragons are back.
Right.
We know the dragons are back, baby, and we know that, like, there is magic out there in the world. We've seen it. Dany's seen it.
Yep.
But he hasn't seen it.
And we shall see it soon.
And we shall see more of it soon. So then Bran goes back to Mira and tells her what the maester told him, and Mira's like, alright, how about this? Here's one of Jojen's dreams, and we're gonna see if it comes true. You were sitting at supper, but instead of a servant, Maester Lewin brought you your food. He served you the king's cut off the roast, the meat rare and bloody, but with a savory smell that made everyone's mouth water. The meat he served, the phrase, was old and gray and dead, yet they liked their supper better than you liked yours. I don't understand. You will, my brother says. When you do, we'll talk again.
Well, that's great.
And then at dinner, that doesn't happen. It's like, food was served normally. Yep. Nothing seemed to be weird about it. So
yeah, but that's the wedding. I'm thinking that's the wedding.
You think that's the wedding?
I'm fairly certain this is some knowledge that I'm pretty certain that I have. I'm pretty sure the Freys are involved.
With the wedding?
With the wedding. I don't know how or why or whatever. I really feel like they're involved.
Yeah.
Again, I could be wrong, but so I feel like he was talking about the Freys, right?
Yeah. The phrase
got what they wanted, and he doesn't.
Yes, they're served old rotten meat, but they like it, and he's served
they're served people dead, maybe.
And then Bran gets something that he should like, but he doesn't like it, and they're given something they should not like, but they do like it. Is essentially like.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, because the thing is.
Sorry, say that again.
Okay. So Bran is served the king's cut off the roast, the meat rare and bloody, but with a savory smell that made everyone's mouth water. The meat he served, the phrase, was old and gray and dead, yet they liked their supper better than you liked yours. So even though what they're served sucks, they like it better than what Bran is served, which is supposed to be, like, good. And also it's like, Bran, you're forgetting, because dinner comes around and that doesn't happen.
Right.
But also, the other dream that Jojen told you, he was like a winged wolf and gray chains, and you're the wolf and all this sort of stuff. So it's like the dreams are symbolic.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to believe in the dream, so he wanted it to not happen tonight, so it would be all good.
Yep. Exactly. And so then he's like, yep, everything's fine. But he's also sad because Bran was relieved, but disappointed too. So long as there was magic, anything could happen. Ghosts could walk, trees could talk, and broken boys could grow up to be knights. But there isn't. There's no magic, and the stories are just stories. And he would never walk, nor fly, nor be a knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Bran.
He's having a time.
Yep, he's like, maybe there could be magic, and that's kind of exciting, but it's also kind of scary.
Yeah.
And so, he's got sort of conflicting feelings about that. But yeah, we're because the thing is also that Jojen in this chapter, I kind of skipped over this section, but he's like, you have these dreams where you're Summer, and you're like actually just straight up like you think that you're sleeping, but you're actually just like controlling Summer. You've like gone into him and you're like controlling him. Right. The other night, because at the end of one of the other chapters, he has the dream where he's Summer, and then Jojen and Mira show up, and Jojen touches Summer, then Bran like falls. And Jojen's like, yeah, like we saw some the other night, and I touched him, and I could feel that you were there, and then you like.
And Bran's like, no.
And then that's when Bran like freaks out and the dog like attacks fully because it's like he says that he like knew that he was like falling. It's like, is that what you're scared of, the falling? And then Summer attacks. So it's like the dreams that seem to predict the future, the wolf dreams where he's like controlling Summer, this ability to like control Summer, it also seems to be part of this like magic stuff that's going on. So like Bran is receiving the call to adventure and he is rejecting it in true Campbellian fashion. And it's also like there's that line about like what boy doesn't wish to awaken secret powers within them, this idea of like wanting to like be this hero of a story. Jojen seems to understand that he is not the hero of the story. He like seems to maybe know that when he's going to die, and that he's just kind of a side supporting character in Bran's story, all that kind of stuff. Shout out to Alt Shift X for talking about this stuff. I was listening to it today and being like, it's sort of self-aware in a way, this idea of like, wanting to be the hero of a story it is like a big theme sort of throughout.
Right.
This idea of like it's a recurring theme of like the stories and the adventures, but adventure actually sucks. and all that. So yeah, so that's Bran's chapter. Is there anything else you want to say about Bran?
Nah.
Alrighty. Yep. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say. It's just like we're getting more Bran magic stuff going on, and that's exciting.
I liked this Bran chapter.
It's exciting. And now we are moving on to I closed the book at an opportune time. Tyrion. We're in a Tyrion chapter, and I feel like this chapter there's not a ton to talk about necessarily.
Right. Is this where he meets with the cousin?
Yes, he meets with Lancel.
Yeah.
Who is...
Yeah, because that was a kind of funny conversation, I remember.
Yes. Basically, Lancel comes to him in the middle of the night, asking to see him. Podrick, goes and wakes him up. And Tyrion's like, yeah, he thinks that by talking to me in the middle of the night, he's going to catch me off guard, that I'm going to be, too tired to, think properly. But little does he know, I stay up late all the time, reading Varys's reports and Littlefinger's
because then he makes himself look more tired than he actually is.
Yes.
Doesn't he change or something too?
Yeah, and he ruffles up his hair to make himself look like he just rolled out of bed and stuff.
Little fucker.
Yep, truly. But yeah, he's like, I'm gonna make him wait a little bit just to make him stew on a little bit more. Let him get anxious in the waiting. But essentially Lancel shows up and is like, hey, Cersei wants you to fucking release Pycelle, asshole. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I figured she'd probably not be too happy about that. It's like, oh yeah, wasn't she sick? Which he fucking poisoned her. Right. It's like, I was hoping that she'd be sick for longer, but she is Jaime's twin after all, and Jaime's very robust, so I guess that she's got some of that. And essentially they have this conversation where Tyrion's like, hey buddy, I know that you're fucking the queen. Yeah. your cousin. And I could fucking spin this. I could tell Joffrey about this and I know also that you were involved in the killing of Robert Baratheon, and so you killed the king in order to fucking sleep with the queen, and Joffrey's not gonna be too happy about that. And then Lance was like, no, that's not what this was about. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Doesn't fucking matter if that's what it was about or not. That's how it's gonna fucking sound. That's how it is now. That's how it is now. And he's like, I'll stop. I'll run away. I'll leave. And he's like, no, you're not. You're gonna keep doing it, but you're mine now. Yep. You're gonna be fucking reporting back to me about what Cersei's up to. That's what you're gonna do. And you can keep fucking her as much as you want. Just don't get her pregnant. And Lance was like, don't worry, we pull out. Yeah. There's too much talking about the details of that. But yeah, it's just this whole thing because it's Lancel is sort of compared to Jaime, that he's off-brand Jaime. Right. And so then he's just oh, you just found a replacement. Yeah. Because Cersei is so into the incest because she's just a narcissist. Yeah. Who's just she's into herself, and so she's fucking her family because they're remind her of her, seemingly. Insane. You know? It's who's the closest person like me that I can fuck? My literal twin. But yeah. And so, you know, he's threatening him with this stuff, and then he's like, oh no, I am gonna release Pycelle. And Lance was like, you are? It's yeah, no, I'm gonna release him, but you gotta be my guy now. Yep. And you can go to Cersei and act like all this stuff worked. Yeah. That you're planning to convince me worked, and that I'll play nice, and that I'll, be good. And it's yes, it's good to spy on her, but you already have people spying on her. And also, you guys should be working together more than you are. If you want to be accomplishing your goals. But I think some of his goals is fucking over his family. Yes. We haven't had it spelled out, but a lot of times in his point of view, part of his goal is to explicitly fuck over his family. Yeah. He's oh,
I could do this, but I feel like he's, like, had kind of those thoughts. I could do that, but I'd rather fuck with my family.
Yeah. It's like, on the one hand, I want to help our sort of political cause, because having the family be in power
helps me,
but I also...
I hate my family and fuck them.
Yes.
But also, they're my family.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so it's like this whole thing of, it's like, I need to be the winner of this family.
Right.
Like, the family needs to win, but within the family, I also need to be the winner, right? Like, I need to be the one who's, like, doing all this stuff to help, and anything that Cersei's trying to do to help probably isn't even really helping, because I think that I'm better than her.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, I need to be the one who does it, not her. You know, I don't trust her.
Yeah.
And also,
she's... because, like, they've ostracized him for forever, so it's like, he's just like, you know...
Yeah.
Like... You've gotten yours, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has a lot of, like, resentment for them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and so that's sort of what he does with Lancel. He's like... It's like a whole long conversation. It's like a fun conversation, but the sort of the takeaway is basically just that, like, Lancel thinks that he's hot shit because he's been made a knight now, and he's fucking the queen, and all this sort of stuff. But then, you know, Tyrion's like, well, I know all of your secrets, and I can expose everything, and really fuck you over. So you need to do what I say, and you need to be spying for me on Cersei. And I'm going to release Pycelle like she wants. I'm going to act like I'm playing along, but I've got you on the inside now. And after doing that, he's like, well, I'm too riled up now from doing that, so I'm going to go fuck Shay now, I guess.
Right.
And so he calls Bronn, and they go off to the brothel, and they go through their whole secret way, and he has this bit where it's like, you know, because, like, the lady who's in charge of the brothel, she's, like, a Summer Islander, and she's like... Our religion is about, like, love and sex and stuff. So she sees herself almost like more like a priestess.
Yeah.
And Tyrion has this bit where he's like, you know, it's not about what you do, it's about, like, how you like think about it. You know? And he's sort of like kind of justifying to himself the things that he's doing.
Right.
You know, it's about the intention behind it, you know. It's like, because he also says it's like you know, when Lancel's, like, begging and groveling, he's like, oh, go beg to Joffrey. He loves a good beg. And it's like, well, Tyrion, you like it when people beg to you, too. Like, Tyrion's more like his family than he kind of, like, wants to think, right? And he wants to, like, sort of believe. But he goes and he finds... Shay, who he's, like, set up all these guards around Shay, who are, like, as ugly as possible, so that she won't be, like, tempted by them, like, because he's weird and self-conscious about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's, like, we get, like, these descriptions of, like, all these, like, you know, ugly people.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ugly people that he has, like, around her to, like, you know, not have, like, someone handsome that she'll go run off with. And he also thinks about how he's faithful to her, like he's only sleeping with her right now because he's, you know, sort of got this, like, fantasy, essentially. Yep. And oh yeah, as he's, like, making his way there, making my way. Remembered notes filled his head, and for a moment he could almost hear Tysha as she'd sung to him half a lifetime ago. The tune was wrong, the words too faint to hear. A different song, then. And why not? His sweet, innocent Tysha had been a lie, start to finish, only a whore his brother Jaime had hired to make him a man. I'm free of Tysha now, he thought. She's haunted me half my life, but I don't need her anymore. No more than I need Alayea or Dancy or Marae, some of the people at the brothel that he, like, interacts with earlier. Or the hundreds like them I've bedded over the years. I have Shay now. So it's like, I'm not still hung up on my wife who turned out to be a prostitute.
Yep.
I have a new prostitute who I'm acting like is my wife. Yep. Clearly I'm over this.
Yep.
Clearly I'm fine and over this. Which is just great. But yeah, and so then he goes to her and he wakes her up by eating her out.
Right.
Which is a whole thing. And you know, he's having he's like, now I hold it all. The power, the city, the girl. This was what I was made for. And God's forgive me, but I do love it. And her. Yeah. So, you know, Tyrion's really, like, you know, at the beginning of the book, he's like, I'm doing all this for justice.
Yes,
I'm gonna do justice. But really, he's much like his siblings. He's in it for the power.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the rest of his family, he wants the power and he revels in it.
I felt that from like the beginning of this book, and like I was feeling it, and so I was curious as to like where that was going.
Yep, which everything's sort of going great for Tyrion.
It's going great for him right now, which means things can only go so bad.
Yes. It's like, and surely things will keep being good forever. This couldn't possibly be setting up anything bad happening.
I'm sure that Cersei is taking this completely lying down. No issues.
And she's taking something lying down. But yeah, so that's we're not spending a ton of time on this chapter. Like, you know, there's definitely like stuff going on here, and like there's more sort of political motion happening. You know, Tyrion did the thing with Pycelle, and so now he's letting him go, and you know, having a spy on Cersei and all this sort of stuff. So it's like, you know, things are happening, but there's not like a ton to sort of like take away from this chapter, other than sort of like, you know, more fun Tyrion character stuff about like sort of his thoughts, his hang-ups when it comes to like sex and prostitutes and things like that, continuing to sort of be a theme going on in his relationship to power and his family and whatnot. But yeah, is there anything else you have to say about this Tyrion chapter?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. He's also just, like, a real dick in this chapter.
Yeah, he is.
like, he's real snarky with, like, Podrick, his squire, and with Bronn. Like...
I mean, he can be a bit of a dick anyway, but now he's got, like, a bit more power, so, you know.
Yep, because it's like...
A lot of his better qualities are because he didn't have that as much, you know? Yep. But now, by necessity, he's put into more of an active power situation.
Because there's actually a little bit in here when he's like, when Lancel goes off, where he's like, you know, I kind of feel bad for Lancel because, I mean... he's probably not going to survive.
Yeah.
All these, like, political maneuverings and stuff. At some point, Jaime's going to come home and probably just fucking kill him.
Yep. But, like, he doesn't feel bad enough to not, you know.
He doesn't feel bad enough to, like, not do it. But also, he's like, I kind of feel bad for him. But then also, earlier, when, like, when they're, like, coming to him being like, hey, your dad's, like... raping and murdering everyone out in the Riverlands. He's like, yeah, well, that's just how war is.
Right.
And just doesn't give a shit.
I mean, because we saw him when he met with his dad out, like, on the, like...
Yeah.
He came back to the town, saw the maid or hotel owner or whatever hung, and barely had a thought about it. He was like, oh, it sucks. Yep. And that was it.
Yep.
Like, so we know, like...
We know how Tyrion is.
That's not, like...
Yep, because, like, on the way to the brothel, he sees, like, an old woman with, like, a dead cat that she's, like, carrying, because she's gonna, like...
I find his morals very, very interesting, like, because, like, sometimes he does care, like...
Yep.
But it's so selective and so based on how much he feels he's able to care at the moment, I feel like.
Yes, and how much they remind him of himself.
Yeah, or people he cares about or whatever.
Yep. He's like, I care about prostitutes because I spent a lot of time with them, and I was kind of married to one for a while, and I care about like people like Bran who have disabilities because I have a disability. And, you know, things like that. And so that's very much like what Tyrion cares about. Anything that sort of reminds him of himself in that way.
So he can seem quite, like, nice and reasonable, but he is not.
Nope.
And that's why I wanted to, like, that's why I was focusing so much in the beginning of this book on, like, his reasons for doing all of these things. Like, he was getting a lot of good stuff done that, like, Ned was not able to do. But, like, he was basically always coming at it from a, like, kind of more selfish... point of view, and I just found that interesting to like see where that was gonna go.
There's one line because he's thinking about Tyrion reflected on the men who had been hand before him, who had proved no match for his sister's wiles. How could they be men like that, too honest to live, too noble to shit? And he's just like, but I'm playing Cersei's game, and I'm playing it better than her, and so like I'm doing great. And, you know, he's like, I'm able to accomplish these things that they could never accomplish.
Because I'm a Lannister.
Because I'm a Lannister.
You know, like...
Yep.
Fuck my family, but also I'm the best because I'm a Lannister.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
Love Tyrion.
Mm-hmm. Because also it's like whenever we have when he had the whole exchange with his father, you know, it's like he so desperately wants his father's approval. Mm-hmm. You know, even though he knows that, like... And
his father, like, hates how much he sees of himself in the kid that he hates the most.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that relationship is so fun and interesting to me, of just, like... I love it. I love that Tywin's... Tywin's, like, 3 kids. The one that the one that he wants to be like him is the one that is the least like him.
Yes.
And, like, then the 2 people that have his, like, the qualities that he prizes the most, or whatever, that are most like him, are a woman and, a disabled, like, man. And he just can't...
Nope. Yep.
Like... abide by that. He can't give them, like, so then he has to put more stock into the one who he doesn't have any, like, you know. I love it. It's so toxic and horrible.
Yep. Jaime became part of the Kingsguard, and as part of the Kingsguard, you can't inherit.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but then Robert was like, I'm gonna make fucking Jaime like warden of the whatever.
Still was able to,
Yep.
And, like, I think, like, looks-wise, I think he, like, looks more like Tywin. Like Jaime.
Yeah.
So, like, he has, like, the look of what Tywin wants.
Yes.
But, like, none of the brains, strategy, like, all of that type of stuff that he, like, really cares about.
Right, because it's like...
But he wants the looks with it because that's important.
Yep.
And not a woman.
Yes. Because one of the things that we hear about Tywin is that as soon as he started balding, he shaved his head.
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't be seen as balding, so he had to intentionally shave his head. But he still keeps his, like, huge sideburns and stuff. It's just like... a man who cares so much about, like, his image and whatnot.
Because both Cersei and Tyrion are perfect for what, like, Tywin, you know, like...
Yep.
Exactly what he wants and needs, you know.
Yep, and it's interesting because, like, Jaime is a man. He's, like, the firstborn.
Yep, and charismatic.
He's charismatic. He's good with the sword. He's strong.
Yep.
He's a powerful warrior. He's everything that the society, like, praises and gives everything to.
Yep.
And so he's like, well, I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And Tywin was like, no, you need to do what I want you to do.
Yep.
But he just won't.
Yep.
And so then these...
And then also doesn't really have the brain for strategy, like the same, you know, strategic mind.
He's a good fighter, but he, like, loses a battle to a fucking 15-year-old.
And, like, he just does not, like...
He's too in it for, like, the glory and whatnot.
Yeah. He doesn't care about politics. He doesn't care about strategy, you know. He's a duelist more than a...
Yes, more than, like, a great military leader. Yeah. Because that's another thing.
Great in a tournament or in a, you know, like, that's where he shines.
Yep, and that's something that we'll see sort of, like, again with, like, Renly and stuff. It's like these knights who are good at tourneys but not at warfare.
Yep.
You know, the Knights of Summer, as it were.
Yeah.
Yep, but is there anything else that we have?
No, I love talking about Tywin and Tyrion and that whole dynamic is very fun. It's such
a good relationship to like examine and stuff, because like Tyrion is George's favorite character, and like it shows in just like how
it's interesting. Like there's just a lot to do with them.
Because also it's like, you know, George R. R. Martin has talked about like growing up and being bullied and things like that, and so I think that there's like Tyrion embodies some of those things, you know, but sort of like the worst version,
right?
Not necessarily the worst version,
right?
But like, you know, sort of
Tyrion
like,
certainly could be worse. But,
Tyrion could certainly be worse, but sort of like, you know, these like feelings of being like ostracized and being like, you know, picked on and whatnot. And it was interesting because in one of Alt Shift X's videos where he's talking about it, you know, someone asked like, what is George's relationship with his father? Is that something? And it's like, apparently in an interview he said that his father was like, he's never said that he was like super terrible or abusive or anything, but that he was like a functional alcoholic, and that they never really like understood each other except through like football was the only way that they ever really like understood each other.
Gotcha.
And so it's like, you know, maybe some of this family, you know, father-son stuff. But it's also like, you know, it's maybe you don't want to like speculate too much about like that sort of personal stuff. But you can tell there's like just like a lot of good, rich character stuff going on here, and like interesting family dynamic stuff going on. It feels very real, whether or not it's coming from like his real life or just sort of like,
I mean, his family dynamics in general, I feel like, are interesting. Like the Stark family as a whole is also very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because also
and the Freys, like from what little we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Freys also have very interesting family stuff because they're so wrapped up in all this like, and then, like medieval line of succession stuff.
Yep, and then like Lysa is like another, like we didn't see too much of her, but like. Her family's a mess, you know, like connected to the Starks, but like,
yep.
There's a lot of,
because it's
I love a fucked up family. Reading about a fucked up family, they're always fun to read about.
Yep. Again, because it's like I was just like listening to these videos and stuff today. All Shift X talks about the ways in which like with the sort of medieval feudal society, it's about families. The Starks and the Lannisters, it's like, it is a very personal story about families, but because of...
But they're in charge of a bunch of people.
Yes, it's like, but because the system is that, like, your family is in charge, and, like, everything is determined by these, like, family stuff, the personal and the political become, like, so obviously intertwined,
right?
You know? The ways in which these, like... family dramas, both internally and between families,
end up exploding and hurting people outside of the family.
Yep, and it's just like that's the good shit right there. Yeah. Anything else for this chapter?
No, I think
Alrighty. And now we move on to Arya, and Arya is in Harrenhal, and
people are being shitty.
Yeah, people are being shitty to her. Whatever names Harren the Black had meant to give his towers were long forgotten. They were called the Tower of Dread, the Widow's Tower, the Wailing Tower, the Tower of Ghosts, and King's Pyre Tower. And she's in the Wailing Tower, and she's like, it's just wailing because when the wind blows through the cracks, it makes a sound, and, you know, they say that there's, like, ghosts, but they wouldn't be in this tower. They're, you know, the king's ghost would be in the King's Pyre Tower, duh, so, like, I don't gotta worry about it.
I love Arya.
She's so great. And she's like, honestly, you know, things are bad, but in some ways they're better. I have, like, a room and soap and food. I'm not having to, like, I have to work, but I'm not having to, like, walk and dig for worms to eat and things like that. So,
and
like,
be constantly interrogated by fucking wackos with nothing to do.
Yep. And so
she should have had him kill fucking what's his name? Clegane.
Yeah.
I know she had him kill the other guy, and he also sucked, but fucking Clegane has done just as much or worse, so you should have just gone after... Go big, go home.
Oh, yeah. Well, because she's, like, worried that, like... So we're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
But essentially...
I just need the deaths of Cleganes. I'm done with them. They're done. Go away. Bad.
Yeah. So basically, we get her, like, going around Harrenhal. She's a mouse now.
Yes.
Because
the whole, like, different, like, animal.
Yeah, the different animals that she is in these, like, different places, her different identities, her different, like, sort of roles that she plays in these different places. And she's, like, watching how the, like, castle, like, works, where people are going. And another funny thing is that there's, like, the Hall of 100 Hearths, and she counted, and there's only, like, 30-something.
Where the fuck is the rest of them?
Yep, she's like, this is fucking bullshit. There's only, like, 30-something. I counted. I mean, I got two different numbers, but, like, it was, like, 30. It's, like, 30 or 35, something like that.
Nowhere near 100.
Nowhere near 100. She thinks about, because, like, Tywin's there. Tywin's just, like, there and around.
Why did she have Tywin killed?
We'll get to it.
I'm sorry, I'm being a menace.
No, you're good. Because straight up in here, she's like, okay, so we're just gonna jump to the Jack and Hagar stuff. Because...
My bad.
no, you're good. Because this is the thing with this chapter. The thing in this chapter is that, like... Jack and Hagar shows up. Jack and Hagar, Rorge and Biter, they show up with Armory Lorch's people. Armory Lorch is the guy who fucking killed everyone. When she was with the fucking, with Yoren, who was taking them to the wall to the fucking, the crows, the fucking, what are they called? The people on the wall, the fucking Black Brothers, the Night's Watch.
The Night's Watch. You said crows, and then all I could think of was crow keepers from Campaign 4, and I'm like, that's not going to help you at all. I know this is the wrong thing.
The Night's Watch people, she was going with them, and Armory Lorch is the guy who, killed all those people, who, killed Yoren and did all that sort of stuff. And now Jack and Hagar, Rorge and Biter, the three people who were in the cage that she freed when the fire was happening, they're now with Armory Lorch, and she's like... Fuck them, I should have just let them die.
Yeah. She's like, why are you with them?
Why are you with them?
Not in the cage or anything.
Right. And so then at night, Jack and Hagar shows up and puts, a hand over her mouth and is like, don't scream. and she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and find...
Got you.
Find the stuff that he says. I'm gonna have to, go ahead. Because also there's, some people who show up. There's the Bloody Mummers. They show up. There's, they're a mercenary band from out east. They're technically called the Brave Companions. The Bloody Mummers is, a nickname that they're given. Because they're a sellsword company from out east, and they have, a whole motley crew of people. And their, leader is a guy named Vargo Hote. And we just kind of get introduced to the fact that they exist... And they're a motley crew of a bunch of different types of people. And Arya's like, oh, they're scary. Tywin's got so many, monsters or whatever.
Yeah.
So, they're here as well. And you don't want to fuck with them or whatever. I just saw that as I was, flipping through to get to the thing. Arya also has wolf dreams. Arya was dreaming of wolves running wild through a wood when a strong hand clamped down over her mouth like smooth, warm stone. A girl says nothing, the voice whispered. And so Jack and Hagar's there, and a man pays his debts. A man owes 3. 3? The Red God has his due, sweet girl, and only death may pay for life. This girl took 3 that were his. This girl must give 3 in their places. Speak the names, and a man will do the rest. And then she's like, help, get me out of here. Yeah. And he's like, no. That's not the kind of help I'm giving. 3. 3 lives, 3 lives you shall have of me. No more, no less. 3, and we are done. So a girl must ponder, but not too long. And so he's like, you save the 3 of us, and the Red God... now needs 3 lives to make up for that. The 3 lives that you kept from him. So I'm gonna go kill 3 people for you. Tell me who it should be. And she's like, I don't know that I can trust this guy.
Right.
I don't know that I can trust him. I don't know that if I tell him the names of people to kill, if I tell him someone important, Tywin, that he's not just gonna run off to Tywin and snitch, I don't know that I can trust him to actually kill these people.
Right.
And so she's not going after someone big like that right off the bat because she's like, I don't know if I can trust him to actually do this or if this is some sort of trap.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. There is a reason.
I get it, but I'm still just go big, go home. Just
No, I get you. So she wants to escape. She wants to escape. She's trying to escape. There's hostages who are northern hostages that are being held there, and they've been told not to escape, but she's like, but they didn't promise to not help me escape, so maybe some of them can help me. But she doesn't know who any of them are, except for this one guy, Kerwin, who she's like, I do recognize him, but he's sick and dies, and so she's like, well, he couldn't have helped me anyway. And that's just part of all the sad stuff that's going on. But she Also, Hot Pie and Gendry are there. Gendry's working in the forge.
Right.
Hot Pie's working in the kitchen. And she can see Hot Pie occasionally, but I don't think she's, like, been able to see Gendry.
Yeah.
But she's like, Hot Pie, working in the kitchen, she, like, interacts with him more. But they can't, like, interact too much because, you know, everyone's shitty and are like, get back to work. And she has her list of names that she repeats every night of the people that she wants to kill.
Yep.
But also at the beginning of the chapter, she is like, sorry, I'm just like jumping all around everywhere because...
Yeah, because I got you all over the place.
It's okay. As for those she served with, she did not even want to know their names. That only made it hurt worse when they died.
Right.
So there's this interesting contrast between her intentionally not learning the names of the people she works with so that it won't hurt when they die, and desperately, like, obsessively
remembering all of the names of everyone she wants to kill.
Yes, the sort of, like, contrast, which is just, like, an interesting, like, part of her thing. And she's thinking of the people that she wants dead. The Starks were at war with the Lannisters, and she was a Stark, so she should kill as many Lannisters as she could. That was what she did in wars, but she didn't think she should trust Jaqen. I should kill them myself. Whenever her father had condemned a man to death, he did the deed himself with ice, his great sword. If you would take a man's life, you owe it to him to look him in the face and hear his last words, she'd heard him tell Robb and Jon once. So she also... partially doesn't want him to do it because she wants to do it herself.
Right.
She wants to fucking kill Clegane herself because fuck this guy and because of the Stark shit, and also I don't know if I can trust Jaqen.
Right.
There's all this stuff.
I'm just being a menace.
I understand. Trust me, a lot of people share your opinion. A lot of people are like, Arya could have used her kill better, and it's like that's not the point. And you understand that, but you're also just like fuck you.
Yeah, he's right there, and I just want him to die so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one didn't get pushed off a cliff, so they're related, right? They're the ones that are related.
Yeah, like the Mountain and the Hound.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mix them up and whatever all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They both suck and can be pushed off of a cliff.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm like, I almost got the one to die, and then this one is right here and didn't get fucking killed. So, but I understand.
Yeah. No, I get you. So there's this guy Chiswick, who's one of Clegane's men, and he's telling this, quote, funny story to everyone about this time that they went to an inn and raped the innkeeper's daughter together, and also killed their son, and it was all a good, fun, funny time, as one does, you know. And the girl was also, like, fucking... He's like
13 or some shit.
Yeah, she was, like, 18 or so. 13, more like, one of them says. And... so he tells this story, and it's like this just horrible story, and so Arya's like, alright, I'm gonna have him kill this guy, because this guy is terrible, and he sucks, but he's also not, like, so important that it's gonna be, like, you know, it's, like, safe to maybe, like, kill him, because, like, you know, and so it's like, So when Arya's, like, serving people at one point, she is serving Jaqen Hagar, and she leaned in close and whispered Chiswick right in Jaqen's ear. The Lorathi gave no sign that he had heard. Nothing happened the next day, nor the day after, but on the third day, Arya went to the kitchens with Whis to fetch their dinner. One of the Mountain's men fell off a wall walk last night and broke his full neck. Drunk? No more than usual. Some are saying it was Harren's ghost flung him down. It wasn't Harren. It was me. I'm the ghost in Harrenhal. And that night, there was one less name to hate. So yeah, that's Arya's chapter.
Yeah.
We're getting a sense for, like, what Harrenhal's like. Tywin's around. At one point she thinks, maybe I could just, like, go to Tywin and be like, I'm Arya, and I could be like, a hostage and ransomed off, but she's like, he wouldn't even fucking believe me because I'm just like some dirty child.
Oh, he might. It probably would,
and
you know.
Maybe.
But being a hostage, we also probably don't want to be a hostage, so like, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But they have been looking for the other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
But also, like, how do you prove that you actually like are Arya? You know.
I mean, I feel like you know.
Because also she had, like, her sword stolen. She had, like, needle stolen.
Right.
So she doesn't even have this to be like, hey, here's this sword that was, like, made in Winterfell. Like, this is, like, why would I, as a commoner, have this, like, good-ass sword that's, like, made for me? But, like, you'd have to, like, prove all those sorts of things.
I mean, she might have information that, like...
That only,
you know, like...
That's true. Just, like, that could be something that she could, like... There could be a way for her to, like, prove it, but she's like, I don't know that I could, and also, it probably wouldn't be good to be a hostage anyway. You don't want to trust your life to Tywin. Right, that's for damn sure. But I do think that there's also, like...
I mean, he would treat her better than Joffrey.
Yes, I mean, probably.
Like, Tywin sucks, but...
Right, but he's, like, smarter than to
exactly,
to do
like,
the things
his cruelty is a lot smarter than fucking just Joffrey's, like, fucking childish tantrums.
Yes.
Like, you know.
Because, like, Joffrey's, like, a full-on...
He's a full...
like, masochist. Like in the truest sense of it.
And that was all, you know, praised and stuff, basically, as he was, you know, growing up.
Yep. But yeah, is there anything else that we...
No, I don't think so.
Do you have any thoughts about Jaqen H'ghar and what his deal is, considering he's like... Because he's like the Red God...
I think he's one of the assassins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he talks about, like, the Red God and, like, only death can pay for life, which is some, like, magic stuff that we've heard.
Maybe, like, the assassins have to do with the Red God in some way. Or maybe just some of the assassins have something to do with the Red God. Gotcha. Or maybe he's not an assassin at all and is something... Or maybe he's from a different set of assassins than the other ones. Got you. Yeah.
Yep. I just like.
Or maybe he's just a cultist who likes killing people.
True. Yeah, because it's like because we get some like interesting little stuff from Jaqen here. What with the because also only death can pay for life is something that we heard like Miriam Master say and things like that. Yeah. So it's just like I like getting your theories on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anything else from Arya's chapter?
No, I don't think so.
Alrighty then. Alright, we're gonna do something a little silly, which is similar to what we did before.
Yes.
We're going to rearrange just this last little bit.
Yep.
So it's supposed to be Catelyn next, but we're gonna do the Sansa chapter.
Yep.
Because it's Catelyn, then Sansa, then Catelyn, but the two Catelyn chapters...
They're very connected, and I feel like it'll be easier to just talk about them. Easier to talk them together.
Sorry about the dogs.
Yep, I don't think we can edit that one out.
No, which is great. They fucking barked right while we were talking, but the point is we're doing the Sansa chapter, and then it'll be easier to talk about the two Catelyn chapters together because blah, 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 blah.
We're all good.
They're just so annoying. Love them. But they're just so annoying.
They must bark.
We have a roommate who's been our roommate for months now, but they simply don't care. Nope. They must bark insanely every time.
But the girlfriend's fine, but it has to bark at him.
Yep. But anyway, the Sansa chapter will be... It's a short chapter in general. It really feels like this Sansa chapter is just in here to be space between these Catelyn chapters. Like, truly, we will talk about it more than this, but like the summary of this chapter is Joffrey continues to be the absolute worst and blame and like
I fully don't remember this chapter. It's been a while since I like listened to everything but the most recent Catelyn chapter. It's been a second since I've listened to it. So I basically don't remember this Sansa chapter.
Got you. So Joffrey's mad because they're losing the war. And
oh, right. Then he just starts beating her up. And then Tyrion finds her.
Yes.
Okay. I remember.
Yeah. And that's basically the chapter.
I'm just mad at every single person around him. And like, that's the point. But I'm just so much more because of the actor's portrayal, in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I hated Joffrey more in the show than I do in the book. I hate the people around Joffrey more in the book than I hate Joffrey.
Interesting.
I have a hard time, like, I think maybe because I'm not seeing this kid and that, like, smarmy fucking, like, because that actor did an amazing job making this kid so hateable.
Yes.
And he is hateable in the book, but I'm so mad at every single adult giving him that power that I can't
he's
be
also,
mad
like,
at...
younger.
Yeah, and I can't be, like, I can be mad at him, but I, like... I'm so disgusted at everyone around him that I'm like, get a handle on this child.
Yeah.
Like, this is a child you can pick up by the fucking hair, and, you know, like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Like... And I get that's the point. Like,
right.
You know, like...
Oh, yeah. I certainly understand that you know what the point is. But you're just feeling the emotions that you're supposed to feel.
Yeah. Like, the people around Joffrey, like, piss me off more than Joffrey. Because he feels to me like... Because I tend to not really believe in just, like, being born evil or whatever, right? Like...
Yeah.
Joffrey was made.
Yes.
And, like, you can see how he was made. And, like, his siblings aren't necessarily the same, but they also weren't made the same. Joffrey was the oldest, and he was, like...
And his siblings are also still so young that they're still very, like, malleable in that way.
So, like, he's been, like...
He's been rewarded for this kind of behavior.
Yes, consistently, all the time, you know, like, the only one who ever gets on to him is Tyrion.
Yep.
Like, everyone else is just, like, whatever.
Yep. Because chapter starts with, the longer you keep him waiting, the worse it will be for it'll go for you.
Because also, like, children can be mean and cruel and not have, like... and just take out their rage and, like, not knowing what's going on, because, like, for Joffrey, things have changed. Like, his dad died. Like the whole castle's in disarray. He's king now, which, that's so cool, but, like, you know.
But also, it's like, as king, there's certain things that he's supposed to do that he doesn't want to do.
He's got to be doing all this stuff, like, he wants to just, like, be a kid, do whatever, and now he's got to go, you know. So, like, I don't feel bad for Joffrey, but also, like...
It's more, like, understandable, this sort of thing coming from this kid than it is for, like, all the adults around him to just be, like, allowing him. Yeah, of course, you just take it out on whatever's in front of you, especially if that's not, like, been shown to be wrong to you. Yeah, you immediately take it out on this girl, because you get, like, I hate him, and he's horrible, you know? Yep. So... Sansa's getting ready. She's like, you know, she's still like, if I'm pretty, then he'll be nicer to me and whatnot, which doesn't help at all. Yeah. And, you know,
he'll always find something.
He'll always find something. He is the worst. Basically, the bit that I kind of want to talk about, it's like Robb has just won some battle. Yeah. And the story of it is interesting because it's like Lancel who's the one who's saying this. Using some vile sorcery, your brother fell upon Sir Stafford Lannister with an army of wargs, not 3 days' ride from Lannisport. Thousands of good men were butchered as they slept, without the chance to lift sword. After the slaughter, the Northmen feasted on the flesh of the slain. So this sort of, like, tale of, like, you know, the wargs and they're eating the bodies and all this sort of stuff, the way that, like, the story gets, like, embellished and
Sansa, like, kind of believes it and is like, oh, what is this? Like, isn't she kind of, like, falling for some of it?
She
like asks about it to someone, I feel like.
She asks about it to or like her and Tyrion talk about it later.
Okay.
Whenever she hears this, she just coiled cold hands around Sansa's throat. Hoiled. She just hears it and it's just like, oh no, they're gonna fucking beat me up. So that's like her only sort of thought about it until later
when she talks to Tyrion. Yeah, I was just remembering that conversation.
Yeah. You Starks are as unnatural as those wolves of yours. I have not forgotten how your monster savaged me. That was Arya's wolf. Lady never heard anything, you know. Yeah. And so, like, that sort of stuff. And then they're like, you know, beat her up for it. And Sir Dantos comes out, the fool. Yeah. And he has, like, a mace or whatever that's just, like, a melon on a stick.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'll do it. And, like, you know, just, like, hits her with this, melon, and she, like, oh, you know, like, sort of plays along and is, like, recoiling, and the melon bursts, and she's like, please laugh. Please just, like, let this be good enough. But, like, Joffrey's not amused. Everyone else is amused, but, like, Sir Dantos is trying to be, like...
Yeah.
This sort of, like, humiliation, but not an actual, like, beating punishment. Just be, like, trying to jump into, like, sort of save her from this.
Yeah.
But Joffrey's like, no, Boros, Meryn, and then they fucking beat her in the stomach a whole bunch because he's like, leave her face, I like her pretty, and they like hit her in the stomach.
I'm again like, these adults should kill this child.
For sure. Yep, they and then Joffrey's like, strip her naked, and they'd start tearing her clothes, and then Tyrion is just like, what is the meaning of this? Is this your notion of chivalry, Sir Boros? What sort of knight beats helpless maids? The sort who serves his king, imp.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's this bit about, much later, I think, maybe towards the end of the chapter, Sansa, like, thinks about this, actually, it's, like, pretty shortly after this happens, actually. It's still, like, a little bit later. But, knights are sworn to defend the weak, protect women, and fight for the right, but none of them did a thing. Only Sir Dantos had tried to help, and he was no longer a knight, no more than the imp was, nor the hound. The hound hated knights. I hate them too, Sansa thought. There are no true knights, not one of them. So this idea of, like, knights are sworn to defend the weak, protect women, and fight for the right. But also, what knights are really supposed to do is serve the king.
Right.
And so it's this idea of like
her idea of a chivalrous knight, or whatever.
Yeah, this idea of, like, what chivalric ideals are supposed to be versus, like, what the sort of reality of knighthood is, which is a real thing.
Right.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, I've seen... Because, like, I remember talking about... Because, like, I took, like, a medieval literature class, or, like... And there's this talk about, like, this idea of chivalry in these, like, in, like, medieval literature and stuff is not because that's how knights were, but it's because that's how knights are, like, supposed to be.
Right.
We only need the stories because knights aren't actually acting this way.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's this ideal that we're supposed to hold
like
ourselves
top
up
shows.
to. Exactly. Exactly. This is how it's ideally supposed to go, not the reality of how things are actually how they're actually going. Yeah.
Old school propaganda.
You're right. That's amazing. I never see that would be a funny title for the episode, to be like although I think it would probably go as well as the libertarian one, to be like, you know, Arthurian legends are propaganda. That would not go over well.
I mean, maybe
you never know.
Maybe it's just outside enough that it'll.
Because the thing is that someone would see that and be like, and interesting, and then it's not a video
essay
about that. It's just a Game of Thrones podcast, and so then it's like oh, never mind.
What the fuck is this? No.
Yeah. But that would be funny. Night stories or propaganda. But yeah, Tyrion comes in and is like, what's the meaning of this? And he's mad about it. And, you know, it's like, someone give the girl something to cover herself with. Oh yeah, because like, when they're, like, beating her up, the Hound says, enough. And then Joffrey says, no it isn't. Boros, make her naked. So, like, the Hound is like, this is fucked up, stop, but he doesn't actually, like, physically stop them. He just says that they should stop.
I'm so fucking mad at him.
Oh no, I understand.
I'm just being petty and but still, you should have run him off that fucking cliff.
True.
Stop now. Fucking bitch, you had a chance.
Also, it was the castle wall. You always say that it was a cliff, but it was like the castle wall. It's close enough.
It's a cliff.
It's basically a cliff. It's a man-made cliff.
It's like they walk up like these stairs up to the thing, and I don't know. I feel very much like it's very cliff-like. It's
just always funny because you keep saying like push him off the cliff, and then I have to remember what it is that you're talking about because they were never on a cliff.
No.
But like I'm like right, yes. The cliff.
I know, it's a big, long drop. It's a cliff.
I mean, that's fair, I think. Yeah,
It's a stone wall. It's a stone cliff.
Yeah, it's a man-made cliff.
Exactly, exactly.
Yep, someone give the girl something to cover herself with, the imp said. Sandor Clegane unfastened his cloak and tossed it to her. Sansa clutched it against her chest, fist bunched hard in the white wool. The coarse weave was scratchy against her skin, but no velvet ever felt so fine. Which is just more sort of good prose from George. This girl's to be a queen. Have you no regard for her honor? And so, he's trying to sort of like, Tyrion's being like, you're being stupid. This is just a stupid thing to do. The king can do as he likes. Aerys Targaryen did as he liked. Has your mother ever told you what happened to him? And Sir Boros Blount is like, no man threatens his grace in the presence of the king's guard. I am not threatening the king, sir. I am educating my nephew. Bronn, Timett, the next time Sir Boros opens his mouth, kill him. Now that was a threat, sir. See the difference? And then he's like, so Joffrey, shall we send for your mother? The king flushed. Nothing to say, your grace. It's just like, you want me to I'm going to call your mom.
Right.
Which is just like...
I'm sorry. Stop leaving this child in charge. What the fuck is wrong with you? Give him a babysitter. Stop leaving him just, alone.
Mm-hmm.
And a babysitter that can actually do something, not fuck-ass adults who are just like, hey, yeah, beat up the child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, there was a little bit earlier, because, also, when Sansa gets there, there's, a dead cat with a bolt in it because Joffrey just has this crossbow that he's been given that he's just shooting at cats and peasants. Joffrey is just a true animal torturing,
right?
Fucking psychopath, sociopath, whatever. I killed a man last night who was bigger than your father. They came to the gate shouting my name and calling for bread like I was some baker. But I taught them better. I shot the loudest one right through the throat. Which, first of all, the fact that he's I killed someone bigger than your father, and it's just some peasant, and he's literally just I don't know, Joffrey's power scaling himself.
Right.
But it's shouting for bread like I'm some baker is just such
he just doesn't have fucking any concept.
Nope. It's just it's such a good line, I feel. Such a good encapsulation of just
how out of touch and just and, he just can't understand.
All Joffrey understands of being a king is that you get to do what you want. Yeah. Because that's what was modeled for him by his father.
Exactly.
Fucking Rob, Robert, you were a bad king.
Yep, and he was wondering why Joffrey was turning out the way he was. Mm-hmm. It's because of you, my dude.
Yep, it's because of you and Cersei.
Yep.
You both sucked, and you hated each other.
Yep.
And you taught him to be a misogynist.
Yep.
And to
then Cersei taught him that he was the best thing ever.
Yep, it's just truly...
That combination?
Mm-hmm. It truly.
And then give that unlimited power.
Yep. And so Tyrion takes Sansa away to the Tower of the Hand. Another good little jab from Tyrion, or a little exchange. Fear is better than love, Mother says. She fears me. Yes, I see. A pity Stannis and Renly aren't 12-year-old girls as well. And so then Tyrion takes her away to the Tower of the Hand. And is here, you should stay here where it's better. They, some people come and help her. Yeah, because Tyrion's talking about, the battle that happened. Yeah. Robb will kill you all, she thought, exulting. Talking with Tyrion, and it's so then there was no sorcery? Sorcery is the sauce fools spoon over failure to hide the flavor of their own incompetence. It's Robb had his wolf there. That's about it when it comes to any sort of warg nonsense was happening. It's just that Robb had his wolf there. And that's about it. Yeah, and they talk, they have a conversation. Tyrion's like, how do you like Joffrey? And she's like, oh, I love him. And he's like, well, someone's taught you to lie.
Yeah.
But she's like, I don't think that I can trust Tyrion because he's one of these Lannisters.
Which,
and it's
like, totally makes sense. Like, there's the zero reason for her to trust him.
Nope. But like Tyrion's kind of like trying to like, you know, Tyrion's definitely like the best of them when it comes to this sort of thing, and he's like, but he's still like, I mean, we're gonna win, still.
Well, and like, also like Cersei was very sweet to Sansa, like,
Yep, she like started off sweet until things started like turning the way they did.
Like, there's no reason for her to have any amount of, you know.
And so they're having this conversation, which is an interesting conversation because she's like lying by telling these like kind of like half truths. It's like, oh, you go to the Godswood all the time. What are you praying for? And she thinks, you know, for Robb to win and Joffrey to die, and then she says out loud, an end to the fighting. Is what she's praying for, which is true in a sense. You know. And then he's like, you should stay here in the tower. And she's like, no, I need to, like, not stay here because I need to be able and not have, like, his guards following me around because I need to be able to go to the Godswood and meet with Sardantos, so that I can escape eventually. And so she has to, like, come up with, like, a reason why she can't stay there. And she's like, well, this is the Hand's Tower. This is where my dad's men, like, died, and their ghosts are gonna, like, haunt me and give me bad dreams and stuff. Yeah. I'd sooner return to my own bed. A lie came to her suddenly, but it seemed so right that she blurted it out at once. The tower was where my father's men were slain. Their ghosts would give me terrible dreams, and I would see their blood wherever I looked. Tyrion Lannister studied her face. I am no stranger to nightmares, Sansa. Perhaps you are wiser than I knew. Permit me at least to escort you safely back to your own chambers. And that's the first time that he doesn't, like, immediately call her out on a lie, you know? Because all the other lies, he's just like, he can see right through them and doesn't like, isn't shitty about them, but it's just like, oh honey,
right.
you know, you're lying. you're clearly lying. Of course you don't love Joffrey. He's the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, you know, this chapter's mostly just like, just a continuation of all the things that have already been going on with Sansa. You know, I don't feel like much like new really happens in this Sansa chapter. It's just a continuation of like Joffrey continuing to be the worst, continuing to like take things out on her and be cruel to her. Now her and Tyrion have like met and are like starting to form some sort of a relationship, you know, because they hadn't really like interacted before this. So like that
they've
sort
like
of like
seen each other a little bit, but like
but they haven't really had much interaction before this, and so this is sort of like, you know, setting up some of that, like sort of like what's their relationship going to be, and like, you know, Sansa learning to like lie and learning that like, okay, the knights aren't going to do anything. The people who are actually going to do anything are people like Tyrion, who's supposed to be this like imp, and you know, Sardantos, who's a fool. Like, you know, the people who you sort of wouldn't expect are actually the people who are being the most like helpful and stuff. So like Sansa's sort of like learning those kind of lessons and whatnot. And so that's kind of like what the chapter, I guess, is sort of about in that way. Like the main sort of like takeaways from this chapter. But yeah, there's a funny line though, because like a maester or someone is like giving her something to help her sleep. Sleep a bit, child. When you wake, all this will seem a bad dream. No, it won't, you stupid man.
Yeah.
Which is just great. But yeah, so that's basically the Sansa chapter. Do you have any thoughts, any extra stuff about Sansa's chapter?
No, I don't think so.
Alrighty. And now the final bit, where we take the two Catelyn chapters and smush them together, and we're going to be talking about them all at once. So, the first Catelyn chapter is she's meeting up with Stannis and Renly.
Right.
And they're going to be having a conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, we're going to try and do some negotiating here. And she gets there first, I think. I think that Catelyn is there before Stannis gets there. Yeah, she's the first one there, and she's looking at Storm's End. Because we're at Storm's End, because the siege is happening. And we get this description...
And I didn't realize how far they had to travel for that. We were looking at the map.
Yes, because they have to travel a ways.
Yeah.
And
they left all their shit.
They left all their shit. So I think it's in this, like, in the first Catelyn chapter that we get this. It's, like, towards the end of the chapter when she's, like... Because, like, her, Stannis, and Renly have their conversation, and then it doesn't go well. Negotiations break down immediately because there was never going to be any negotiation, really.
Neither of them wanted negotiations at all.
Yep. And so she ends up going back to, like, Renly's camp and whatnot. And there's talk about, like, essentially, when Renly heard about this, like, siege of Storm's End happening, he left all of his footmen behind, all of his wagons, all of his supply lines, all of everything. He took all of his, like, riders, all the people, like, on horse, all the knights, all those sorts of people, and just booked it as fast as possible.
Meaning, did he leave all of his supplies unguarded? During all of this wartime?
Not exactly. All of his, like, footmen and stuff, all of his, like, foot soldiers are there. It's just that he
everything fast.
Yeah, he outran his supply lines, though. They specifically say that he outran his supply lines and just, like, booked it as fast as possible to get here. I think that's at the end of this chapter. It might be at, like, more the beginning of the next Catelyn chapter, but we're doing them both at once, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and because then they're like, you know, like, you could have taken your time. Like, he's gonna be here, you know?
It's like, we see Storm's End, and Storm's End is this, like, huge castle. It's got, like, massive walls that are, like, super thick. They're, like, fucking 40 feet thick or something like, or some absurd number like that. The wall was said to be 40 feet thick at its narrowest and near 80 on the seaward face, a double course of stones with an inner core of sand and rubble. And there's this whole, like, story, this, like, legend about, like, the guy who built it, Duran, the first Storm King, who had won the love of the fair, Elene, daughter of the sea god and the goddess of the wind. On the night of their wedding, she had, yielded her maidenhood to a mortal's love and thus doomed herself to a mortal's death, and her grieving parents had unleashed their wrath and sent the winds and waters to batter down Duran's hold. And so he fucking makes progressively bigger and better castles to protect against these ever-coming storms until he builds this super big, awesome, best one that some stories say that a small boy told him how to do it, and that kid was Bran the Builder, who is like a legendary Stark figure. Bran the Builder also supposedly built Winterfell and the Wall. So, you know.
Right. And they're not related to the Children of the Forest. They
the Starks?
came after.
The Starks?
Yeah.
I mean...
or they're older. They were there before the Targaryens?
The Starks were there before the Targaryens, for sure. So the way it goes...
You've told me this like a billion times. I need, like, to see... I need to see this timeline written out. Because I had this thing with the Stormlight Archive. There's, like, a whole bunch of historical events that all happen in order, and they all have different names or whatever. And I had such a hard time keeping all of those historical events in the right order until I saw it all written out. Yeah. Timeline, historical event, each one. I think I need to see it written out.
So essentially, in the beginning, Westeros had the Children of the Forest. Right. Who are sort of like the fair folk, essentially. They're very sort of fairy coded, you know? They're in Westeros. Right. Original inhabitants of Westeros. Right. And then the First Men come. Right. And they have, like, bronze and stuff. Right. And that's a wave of people. And then another wave of people come in, and they're the Andals. And they have, like, blonde hair and blue eyes, and they have, like, steel. And they're the second wave of humans that come. Okay. And they take over. And so, like, the North is like First Men. Right. The South is more Andals. Right. And then later, the Targaryens show up and they take over. Okay. So those are sort of the waves of conquest of Westeros. Right. So the Starks are repeatedly said to have the blood of the First Men. Okay. The Crannog men, who are in the neck, the sort of between the North and South, they have the green sight, which the Children of the Forest have. They're like small and thin and stuff, kind of like the Children of the Forest.
Because you also said small, like and then Bronn the Builder. So then I was like, what if they were
right? What if Bran the Builder was like one of these like Children of the Forest? I mean,
that, or like maybe they like married in somehow. Like Children of the Forest, like.
Yeah, because it's like there could be some sort of like intermixing between the First Men and the Children of the Forest and whatnot. Because like the North has a lot of First Men, but they also have like all this stuff about like the warging and like the Starks and their wolves and whatnot.
Like the old men, like the old gods and stuff like that.
Yes,
that's
they
all
follow
very,
like the old
that feels
gods.
like very Children of the Forest. So I feel like maybe there was
some sort of like
maybe Bronn the Builder wasn't like a
Bran.
It doesn't. There's too many.
It's Bran like Bran Stark because every generation.
But there's the other guy named Bronn, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, because Bronn is the sellsword that's with Tyrion. I feel like
if I saw the word Bran, like Bran, I would pronounce it interchangeably Bran or Bronn.
I would never even once call it Bronn.
I feel like I would do that.
Yeah, because it's like every generation of Starks has a Brandon.
Yes. Yeah.
Fucking Ned's brother was Brandon. The only reason that Bran is so far down the line of Starks is because, well, Jon's not really a Stark, and we had to name Robb after Robb first because that was my buddy Robert, so I had to name him after him first because we did this whole rebellion together. And then I had girls, and now you get to be Bran. So that's a whole thing. Yeah,
but my point is just that
maybe he was one of these like Children of the Forest or whatever.
Well, I don't think he was a Children of the Forest. Well, maybe he is, but like I feel like he was like maybe a generation or two removed, something. Got like you, that. Not like.
Right. Yeah, because Bran the Builder is the sort of like mythical figure from like.
So then maybe he is.
Yes, because like. We haven't gotten this yet, but the Lannisters also have, like, an Age of Heroes, like, mythical sort of, like, founder person, whose, name escapes me. He might have just been Lan or something, but he was, like, a trickster who, like... because
Lannister, Lan trickster.
Yeah, because, like, he's this, like, trickster guy who, because, like... The Lannister place, their castle is at Casterly Rock.
Right.
And so Lan tricked the Casterlys into, like, giving him Casterly's Rock, essentially. Which is why it's not named after the Lannisters, it's Casterly Rock, but, like, Lan the Clever or whatever, like, tricked them or whatever, and that's, like, part of their, like, founding myth or whatever. And then the Starks have Bran the Builder, and then, like, Storm's End is where the Baratheons come from, and they have Duran, who, like, has the story of, like, marrying a goddess and, that sort of stuff. So it's, like, the Age of Heroes, all these, like, houses have their sort of, like, mythical, if not founder, sort of, like, the person who, like, made them great, essentially.
Right.
And Bran the Builder is that for the Starks, and he supposedly, like, helped build the wall and things like that. But yeah, and so it's like this castle, Storm's End, it's like super defensible.
Right, yes, yeah, that was the whole point.
That was the whole point.
We're back.
No, you're good. And so it's like, yeah, he's gonna be here sieging, but like you could have taken your time getting to him. It's not like it's gonna be like done overnight,
But he has to go and
But he's gotta fucking go in and do it right now.
Yeah.
And so like. Catelyn's there.
Honestly, he's itching for the first battle.
Yes, he really is.
Which?
Yeah. So Catelyn gets there. Stannis shows up. Stannis is...
Throughout this whole time, I've been, like, theorizing how everything's gonna go, blah, blah, like, long-term, like...
Yeah, because you're like, okay, so, like, what do we know about Stannis, and what do we know about Renly? Like, Stannis, he... Like, there's all this emphasis put on, like... Stannis was under siege for, like, a long time, and he, like...
Yep, and, like, he knows what he takes, and, like what it'll take, and, like, Renly just doesn't. So, like, this is all this, like, setup and stuff.
Yep, it's like, they ate rats. cats. They almost ate people, but it didn't never quite come to that and whatnot. And, like, you know, Stannis... They always say Stannis will break before he bends.
Yeah.
And Stannis is there, and he's mad. he's got this, like... he's got a cool crown, though. He has a crown of red gold with points fashioned in the shape of flames. His belt was studded with garnets and yellow topaz, and a great square-cut ruby was set in the hilt of the sword he wore. But he's otherwise dressed very plainly. And his banner, he has the, like, Baratheon, like, stag, but it's inside of a heart, inside of, like, a burning heart. That's the sort of, like, symbol of, like, of this, like, god that Melisandre's, like, brought to him.
Right.
The like, red god. R'hllor, which I think we've gotten that name. Yeah. So it's, like... His banner is no longer the normal Baratheon one. It's now, like, this weird, like, red and yellow one that's, like...
Because he makes a remark about it or something. He's just like, oh, what is that? You know, like...
Yeah, because, like, Renly's like, well, it's a good thing we're not flying the same banner. It'd be confusing otherwise. But yeah, he shows up. Melisandre's there. Melisandre's, like, his flag bearer or whatever. And, Catelyn remarks that both him and Renly have women as their, like, flag bearers, which is just, not important at all. But you couldn't tell that Brienne's a woman, so, like, you know, it's fine.
But Catelyn is also, like, fairly misogynist.
Yes, Catelyn like, definitely... yeah, Catelyn definitely has that, Westerosi, like... misogyny kind of, like, built into her.
Yeah. It's almost more obvious with her than with others.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, she's there with Stannis, and she's like talking to him, and he's like, "I'm sorry for your lord's death, though Eddard Stark was no friend of mine." Which, like, what a way! It's like, sorry he's dead, but I didn't like him. Right. It's like, thanks.
Which is very Stannis.
Very Stannis. Thanks, Stannis. This is why people love you. But yeah, Stannis is just like, he's so stubborn because he's right. Yeah. He's like, no, this is what the law says. It's
like, y'all are pretending to follow all this. I'm the next one. I'm the one. Like, what do you mean? This is all stupid.
This is all stupid. This is all fucking stupid. And there's all this stuff about, like, all...
And Renly kind of sees this as a game, and Stannis does not. No. Stannis is, like, tired of getting pushed around. Like, from the first chapter and, like, from, like, early on and stuff. It's, like, he's tired of being pushed around. He's tired of being disrespected and, like, whatever. It's like, oh, Stannis will deal with it. Like, no one likes Stannis. And, like, people, like, just, like... kind of say that no one likes Stannis, no one wants to follow him, whatever, you know, like, and he's like, okay, I'm done with this, you know.
I don't get any fucking respect around here, and it's my fucking time. So here's an interesting little thing, and this is coming from apparently, like, an interview with George R.R. Martin, and so I'm fine sort of, like, sharing this. This is something that, like, you can sort of, like, pick up, is that, like, Robert gives Stannis Dragonstone, not Storm's End.
Right.
And Stannis is very upset about that.
Yes.
Because Storm's End is their, like, family thing, and he's like, it's my right to inherit it and whatnot.
Yeah, but he's like, and the other one is just, like, a shit place. Like, why are you giving me this? And, like, you know.
But the thing is that if you look at, like, the history of the Targaryens and stuff, the king's heir was often given Dragonstone. And so George has said in an interview that perhaps Robert giving him Dragonstone was not the insult that Stannis thought it was.
Got you.
That he was essentially acknowledging him as his, like, heir.
Right.
In some sense, and that, like, it's a symbolically important seat in a way that's supposed to actually be good for him, rather than slighting him by not giving him the family thing.
Right.
And so it's like, actually, maybe he was being nicer than you thought, but also considering everything that's come before, it's understandable why you took it this way.
Yeah.
And also because none of you can just fucking talk.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. And so I find that very, like, interesting. And that's one of those things that's just sort of, like, a little thing that'd be, like, hard to kind of, like, pick up on.
Yeah.
But that's very interesting.
Yeah, their whole, like, relationship is, like, tragic. It's sad.
It really is.
Like, and you get that, like, I feel like from the first chapter with the like, old maester and stuff.
Yes.
Like, really, like, talking about it and, like, being like, no, this is sad. Why are they fighting? Like, why are you going to fight this? Like, this is really sad.
It's like your brothers and just, like, because that prologue is very good. Like going back and rereading it, like, him...
It's a very good prologue.
Him talking about, like, Renly and, like, how Renly, as a child, would be, like,
It sets up this whole book, to be honest. Like, in, like, their whole conflict and, everything.
It really sets up the book really well in a lot of ways because it's just sort of like, and
the start of the Comet, like, being, like, a big thing in the first part of this book.
And even the sort of, like, conflict between, like, magic and the sort of, like, secular non-magic world.
And, like, the maesters and all of that.
The maesters sort of versus magic because, like, that's part of Bran's whole thing with these, like, going to the maester versus, like, talking to Jojen and this sort of, like, magic is becoming more of, like, a thing that we kind of have to, like, deal with.
Right.
And that'll become very apparent in this in these chapters because the conversation doesn't go well between Stannis and Renly.
Yeah.
Stannis is like, I'm gonna fucking... Well, to Catelyn, he's like, I'm gonna deal with Renly, and then I'm gonna deal with your son next, because, like... He's also a fucking traitor.
Which, that's so stupid. Stannis, stop it. Go after the Lannisters. Why are you being dumb? Go after the throne that you supposedly want. Why are you doing this nonsense?
Yeah.
Because, like, yes... You're right, fine, whatever, with the whole, like, heir or whatever. But also, why are you going after...
Because also I said next, but he says that he will just, like, that...
Okay, gotcha.
He will have his time eventually.
Got you, yeah.
That, like, your son will have his time eventually, too. Yeah. He doesn't necessarily say next, just that, like, hey, your son's also being a traitor, and don't act like you're not part of this. but like, Catelyn's just like, please, Cersei's laughing her head off right now, watching you guys argue.
Exactly.
And, like, we're all traitors. But the thing is that, like, she doesn't know about the incest stuff yet.
Right.
And so, like, Stannis and Renly are like, oh yeah, there's all this, like, incest baby shenanigans going on.
Right, and, like, Renly's just like, I don't...
Yeah.
I doubt that.
Renly's like, conveniently, I don't believe in the thing that gives me the better claim to the throne.
Right. But also, I don't care about it, and who cares?
But Catelyn is like, oh, okay, so, like, if that is true, then, like, yes, you would have the rightful claim. But also, like, the reality of the matter is that, like, right now, everyone's backing him, saying that he's legitimate, and so, like, as far as everyone's concerned, he's legitimate, and we're all traitors, and we would be better spent, like, working together. But Stannis is like, no, but I'm right. And, like, I know about this stuff because I was looking into it, and it's like, well, why didn't you tell Robert about it? And he was like, well, I had to convince Jon Arryn of it because he's not going to believe it coming from me.
Yeah.
Because this will just seem like some sort of ploy on my end to try and, like, be the heir. Because if I say that his son is illegitimate, then that means that I'm the heir, and so it seems like a power grab, so he'll be more receptive of it coming from Jon Arryn, who he loves, who he likes, and saying that, Robert doesn't care about me and doesn't like me, but he likes Jon Arryn, and so he'll, like, be more sort of receptive, which is, like, the tiniest bit of emotional intelligence from Stannis,
But still comes from the place of being resentful.
Yes.
And from seeing the worst.
Yes, for sure. It's great. And so he's like, we were, like, looking into this, like, we know this is, like, for sure, and Renly's just like,
maybe Robert would have seen it that way, but maybe he could have convinced him, anyway, but they won't fucking talk. Yep.
And then Renly's like, I have a peach! And they're like, what? And he's like, you gotta eat a peach while you can, buddy.
You gotta show how reckless you are before you die.
Yes. Yep. It's like, life, you gotta live life before death finds you. The Starks are right. Winter is coming, so you gotta enjoy life while you can. And you don't understand that. And I'm better than you. And everyone likes me more. And I have the better army. And nanny nanny boo boo.
Exactly.
Like, truly, he just showed up to, like, taunt him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, because he's like, Stannis would never listen.
Right.
And so this was never going to work out anyway.
Yeah.
So why try? I'm just going to show up and rile him up.
And then he's fucking ridiculous about the battle plan. Because already I'm like, my dude, you're not thinking enough about the battle. Because I'm still thinking about the battle that is about to happen.
Yeah, because it's like they go back to his camp and he's just like, he's running out of food.
Yeah.
Because he outran his supply lines.
And then he's also like, it's like one of his people or whatever. This is getting into the next chapter, but I'm talking about it anyway.
We're good to do that.
Then his people are just like, we should attack at night maybe or whatever. Yeah, because if we attack in the morning, like when we're supposed to, we're gonna be charging into the sun, and it's gonna be like a bad thing for us or whatever. For us strategically. And then Renly's like, no, we have it like so in the bag. It's like no problem. And then he's like, when I find what's his name that they're looking for? Sir...
Oh, yeah, Barristan Selmy.
Yeah, and then he's like, when I find him, because he's got to be with Stannis or whatever, when I find him, I'm gonna spare him and get him to work for me, or whatever. Yeah. And also, we need to respect Stannis' body.
Yes, it's like Stannis is my brother, and so I won't have y'all doing anything untoward to his dead body. He's not gonna be parading him around
It's all honor and whatever. And then I'm just like, my dude, Stannis doesn't have honor like that in that same and you know your brother.
Yep, we've been making all these points about how Stannis will eat rats in order to survive.
Exactly, that's
because the thing is that Stannis is like, you have the night to fucking make your choice, and then in the morning it's on.
Yeah,
and so it's like the night before they're like planning things. It's like, maybe we should we're already ready. We should just go ahead and attack now, because once the sun starts coming up, the sun's going to be right in our eyes. And also this is the time that Stannis told us to fight. Right. Why would we show up at the time that Stannis set up for us? And he's like, and have them say that I won an unchivalrous nasty trick. And because the winning is just a foregone conclusion for him. Yeah. He's like, Loras is gonna run out ahead, and as soon as they fucking hit, he's gonna fucking break the line, and everything's gonna be great, and we're gonna fucking... It's just gonna be great. And it's like, what do you mean? Yeah. He just so assumes that he's just gonna win. Why wouldn't battle he?
Real battle experience. He has more tourney experience. He has more just dueling sword, more one-on-one combat, I feel like. I don't think he's done a lot of
Yeah, he doesn't have any actual experience with real warfare.
Because that's also the whole point of his shiny ass armor.
His beautiful shining armor. Yeah. Because Stannis fought in Robert's Rebellion.
Yeah.
He was there during that siege, but Renly was too young for that. No, yeah. He wasn't a part of that. His whole life, basically, Robert's been king. Yep.
So he's been in tourneys and whatever.
Since he was a child, I'm pretty sure. And the thing is he's because Renly's like, well, you worked for Robert, why won't you work for me? It's like, Robert was my older brother, and he believes in the rules. He's like, the rules state that you as my younger brother are supposed to fucking be subservient to me. It's my turn. It's my time to fucking do this. I'm in charge. I am right. And Renly's like, yeah, but people like me more, and I have the bigger army, so, and... Yeah.
So
and Catelyn's like, you're children. Yep. You're literally children. Yep. I want to bash your heads together.
And it's very sad.
I'd lock the two of you in a room until you remember that you're brothers.
Yeah. It is sad and upsetting. It's yeah. Yep. They definitely did not need to. They could have joined and gone,
They could have joined up together and gone after the Lannisters, and it would have been it would have been also at one point, I don't remember which chapter it was, but Catelyn's like, if you just stop this, Rob will put aside his crown, and it's just no, he won't. No, he won't. And she just immediately is
she thinks if I could get him to, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just and she hoped that it was true. Yeah. I can convince him, not the other lords, but I can convince him, and it's no, you can't, buddy. This is very stupid. But yeah, it's just...
I did write 2 predictions down before the second Catelyn chapter, and during or whatever, and one of mine was Stannis early attack ?
Yeah.
And the other was Brienne gets betrayed somehow by Renly because of her loyalty.
Yes, because Brienne is just like so
yeah, and she thinks so much of him.
Mm-hmm. And they're all like,
I was a little on it, but like I was slightly off on how she would be like betrayed.
Because people are like fighting over who's going to be in the vanguard, who's going to like go first into the battle, and she's like, oh, they're children who they're like. Fighting over who gets to die first, essentially. And you know, but she's like, at least let me like help you put on your armor and whatnot. And at the beginning of like the next Catelyn chapter, she like goes to the Sept. There's like this like small village, and she goes to like the church there, and is like praying to the different like gods beforehand.
I went through and wrote all these down.
Yes, because you have your like fun theory about like her like prayers and stuff. Her prayers
get like I'm not fully sure about it. There's not been enough of a pattern yet, but I feel like her prayers get like answered, but like not in the way
monkey's paw, like genie wish kind of like twisted.
So she prayed to each of them. Although she missed one, right? No, it's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's 6.
Yeah, she prays to all of them except for the stranger, who's like the last one.
Right. Which, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That also feels conspicuous in a way.
It does. Yeah.
Because she like prayed to all of them. What does the stranger stand for? Do they say?
Let me go towards it. The stranger has like a lot of stuff going on. The stranger's also kind of like here, let me just like find the description for you.
So like to the mother she prays, look down on the battle with the mother's eye. They are all sons. Spare them if you can. Spare my own sons as well, Robb, Bran, and Rickon. So for that one I noticed Jon is not mentioned, obviously. Which is, sad and, like, doesn't even think about him. In this entire prayer for everyone.
Yeah.
Does not think of him at all. No. Very sad and frustrating. Fuck you, Catelyn, but also one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
Probably my favorite character. It's pretty close. I really love Catelyn. And then, to the Smith, okay, so for the mother, I thought this was interesting, like, after the battle, it's like, save them if you can, for, like, because when she prayed to the mothers, she was praying for, like, all the, like, warriors, like, on the battle or whatever.
Yes, all the, like, soldiers and stuff.
Yeah, for the, like, they're all sons, spare them if you can, and so then, in the end of the battle, they were spared. There was no battle.
There was no battle.
We still haven't really gotten to it yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to it yet, but like you guys know.
Right. But like, there was no battle, so like.
So they were spared.
They were spared. So like, it's fun. And it's spared my own sons as well. Robb, Bran, and Rickon. So like, I don't.
Yeah. Here's the description of the 7. So. The father was bearded as ever, the mother smiled loving and protective, the warrior had his sword sketched in beneath his face, the smith his hammer, the maid was beautiful, the crone wizened and wise. And the 7th face, the stranger was neither male nor female, yet both, ever the outcast, the wanderer from far places, less and more than human, unknown and unknowable. Here the face was a black oval, a shadow with stars for eyes, and made Catelyn uneasy. She would get scant comfort there.
A shadow with what?
Stars for eyes.
Stars for eyes.
Yes. It's the most sort of like...
That gives me Red God vibes.
Yeah. It kind of does, right? It's
because, like, it's always, like, shadow and light.
It's always, like, shadow and light. It's also, like, it's a stranger. It's from far away.
From far away, and a traveler.
Yep.
An outcast.
Less and more than human, unknown and unknowable. Yeah. And she gives no prayers to the stranger. The stranger also is the most sort of, like, mysterious kind of, like, the most esoteric of them, like, the most sort of dangerous seeming one in a way, like obviously like the soldier is dangerous.
She also said no comfort.
Yes. Yep. She would get scant comfort there, and also while she's here, she says, "Did your old gods ever answer you, Ned?" She wondered when you knelt before the heart tree. Did they hear you? And so she's kind of thinking about like Ned's gods as well.
And so then she asked the smith fix what's broken and asked for protection for Bran.
Yep.
Specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. She already prayed for his protection to, like, the mother.
Right.
And then made courage to guard her daughters and their innocence. Sansa and Arya.
Yep.
Father for justice, the strength to seek justice and the wisdom to know. Warrior, keep Robb strong and protect him in battles. Again, no Jon.
Right, no Jon. Because whenever she's looking at these, like, rough charcoal faces of them, because she's like, oh, the, like, rich septs, they have, like, big fancy statues, but these, like, charcoal drawings of the faces in this, like, poor place, the faces are so, like, generic that she can, like, see people in them.
Yeah.
Like, she like, sees Jon in the soldier, I think.
But still doesn't pray for him.
Doesn't pray for him. She sees his face in the warrior as well as, like, a bunch of other people, but she doesn't pray for him at all in her list. She also sees Arya's face in the warrior for just an instant, which is kind of interesting. Which is more of
her not considering him as family.
Right, yeah.
When she prays for her family, she does not think about him.
Yes, when she prays for everyone else in her family, she doesn't think of Jon at all.
Yeah, so then, for the crone, to guide me, Catelyn, don't let me stumble in the dark.
Yes. Yep, and there's this whole sequence of her praying because she also thinks about Cersei, and it's like Cersei's also a mother, and she cares about her children, and like all of the there's 7 aspects of one god. So the Septon was like the church is one building but has 7 walls, such as the same with like the 7. There are 7 aspects of one god. Part of them exists in all of them. The mother can be even fiercer than the warrior when her children are in danger and stuff. And so she's thinking about, like, Cersei, she'd still, you know, as much as she sucks, she still cares about her children, and so she's kind of, like, trying to, like, relate to her in some way. But then there's also, like, she comes to realize, like, oh, Bran saw something.
Right.
And that's why, because she was like, if Robert knew that the children weren't his, he'd for sure have them killed. He'd for sure, like, I saw the way that he was with, fucking...
Right.
I'm fucking blanking.
Yeah.
We've, like, been talking about this kid, and Joffrey.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. long recording. I'm losing it.
Yeah, it has been a while. This is all a long video.
This is a long video. We haven't had a video this long in a while.
Yeah.
We've been better about keeping them like 2 hours.
This has a bajillion tangents, and we've just been.
And we've been really going into it, and I've been reading lots of like quotes and stuff.
Oh wow, it's like almost 10 o'clock.
But Rob.
I have to go to bed.
Yeah. She's like, Robert didn't really show a lot of, like, love to, like, Joffrey and stuff like that, and he definitely would have just, like, killed these kids if he knew that they weren't actually his.
Yeah, because, like, we've seen Robert, and he...
Yeah. And she's like, and Cersei, she's a mother, and she'd do anything to protect her kids, and it's like, oh, Bran saw something, and the reason why they were trying to have Bran killed is because he saw something and he knows about the incest.
Right.
And so she goes to Renly. And is like, no, like, I really think that, like, actually this incest thing is, like, true. And Renly's like, oh, crazy. Anyway, don't care.
Exactly.
Also, just a tiny little thing. There's this guy, Robar Royce. The Royces are, like, people from, like, the Eyrie. They're under, like, Lysa Arryn. Like, that section, that faction. And Robar is, like, one of these, like, second sons or whatever. He's like, I'm not inheriting anything, because she's like, why are you here with like Renly? This, like, you're not like part of Highgarden or any of this shit. And he's like, yeah, well, you know, you got to get your glory where you can when you're not like inheriting. And he ends up being like slightly important later because like he's sort of, like, there with her, leading her around to, like, leading her to the sept, leading her back to the camp and whatnot. Right. And then whenever shit fucking goes bad and everyone's blaming Brienne...
Oh, is that the guy who helps?
That's the guy who helps.
Oh, okay.
That's the guy...
I couldn't remember who the guy who helped was. I was just like, oh, a guy who's helping, cool.
Yeah, he kind of, like, hesitates and doesn't immediately jump on her. Right, and then and then Catelyn's able to be like... Hey, like, something
right. I couldn't remember. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah, he had, like, in the previous Catelyn chapter, they have, like, a little moment where she, like, talks to him, and it's like, hey, what, why are you here? And so then it sort of comes back around. But yeah, so she goes to Renly, and it's like, I think this whole incest thing is, like, true, and whatnot, and he's like, oh, cool story, don't care. I'm gonna do this anyway.
Why do you think that this would change anything? He already said that he doesn't care about it.
Yep. And Bran is, like, helping him get into his armor. They're talking about strategy. They're talking about, like, what should we do? How should we, like, shouldn't you go in early? All that sort of stuff. We were
listening to it, and I'm, like, pausing it and theorizing it. Pausing it and theorizing.
It's like, Stannis is going to attack early. Like, they're talking about we should go attack early. And it's like, no, it's Stannis who's going to attack early. And that's going to be the thing.
And I'm just talking about it as we're listening.
Yep, and I'm just sitting there like, And then it's like, Catelyn's trying to convince him, and then, like, this wind blows through the tent.
Yep, and then I paused it.
Yes.
And went on another theory again, and then went back 30 seconds to play it again.
Yep, and then it's like, the wind blows through, and this, like, and she sees, like, Renly's, like, shadow move.
Yeah.
But then it's like, the sword come out of the sheath, but his sword, his, like, actual sword hasn't been unsheathed.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, what's going on? Oh yeah, also, before this, Catelyn's like, we should take this whole, like, we should, like, the incest stuff, we should, like, get rid of them, and we'll have a council of all the lords, and they'll decide who will be king. What if we did, like, a little bit of democracy? And Renly's like, democracy. Do wolves vote for who's the leader of the pack? And it's just like, yep. And then he gets stabbed through the throat by a shadow.
Exactly. Yep.
And that was the thing. I was waiting for it. I'm like, yeah, Renly's about to get fucking assassinated by shadow magic.
Yep. I was just sitting here, fully my mouth, like, dropped, and I was just like,
yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. He just says, cold, and then the fucking sword goes through, and there's you don't see any, but his just sort of fucking throat opens up, and Bran's just like, what?
Yeah, poor Bran.
Yeah, Bran is just...
I knew that she was going to get her heart shattered, like, because of Renly somehow, and it was because of how much she believed in him. Like, I knew it was going to be, like, the loyalty was going to come into it. And then, of course, everyone's like, oh, Bran did it, and I'm like, well, fuck you.
Because she, like, screams, and then they come in, and then he's just bloody in her arms.
Which, if the person screams, then they probably didn't do it.
Yeah. But they're just immediately like, what did you do? And they start attacking, and Bran just immediately pulls Renly's sword from its sheath
and starts going.
And just starts going, and she's taking on, like, multiple dudes at once.
Which, if you say that people, like, are freaking downgrading Brienne's, like, sword skill or whatever, it's just, like...
Like, when people talk about, like, who... Like, because people talk about, like, oh, who's, like, the strongest, who's, like, the best fucking fighter in Westeros and whatnot, and some people will, like... talk about Bran, and then people be like, no, Bran's fucking not that good, actually.
I'm throwing down for Bran.
Yeah, it's like, no, Bran's fucking
She's
good.
She's a badass, what do you mean?
She is badass. I definitely don't think that she's, like, the best fighter in all of Westeros, but she's a fucking contender.
Yeah.
She's, like, a real fucking badass, and people don't give her enough credit for being a fucking badass. And she's, like, fighting multiple people at once, and Catelyn's like, what?
Right. She's the shadow. What's happening? I saw a shadow. What the fuck?
I saw a shadow attack. It was Stannis. Stannis did it.
Yep.
And Robar Royce is like, what? And she's like, the shadow. It did. I'm babbling like a crazy person.
But I promise it happened.
I promise it happened. And she's like,
she sounds like an insane person.
And then she's like, I swear on my lord husband's grave.
Yep.
And my honor as a Stark, fucking do something, and then that convinces him that, okay, you
would not be saying that
You would not be saying this unless you, like, really meant it, and so then he helps, like fucking hold these people off, and then Catelyn also, I think, like takes like a brazier and like fucking hits someone over the head with it, and then like,
which that's like her go-to. I feel like she did something like that, or just like grabbed something heavy to like clock someone with when she was fighting when like Tyrion like in the last book.
Yeah, when like the person was trying to like kill Bran. Yeah. Because she also like grabs the knife with her bare hands.
The other time with Tyrion with the bandits and stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something similar.
Yeah, I don't remember what she grabbed, but she does something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But then, like, Bran cuts her way out of the tent, and they leave, and then it's like, don't run, we just need to walk, like, like we're supposed to be here.
Yep.
And immediately everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
It's like, word is spreading.
Yep, and it's like,
oh, this, like, isn't happening, and, like, and they're looking out, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, Stannis, like, they don't know it yet, but Stannis has them now.
Yep. Yeah,
like,
what are you guys going to do? Where are you going to go? Like, you're Stannis's.
Yep.
Which, so then, because I have, like, theories and thoughts and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because I'm pretty sure Highgarden... Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with some stuff that I feel like I know from later on.
Some show stuff that you know.
To use this for theories.
Yes.
I'm fairly certain that, like, Marjorie marries Joffrey.
Yeah.
So she needs to get out of there and get to the Lannisters somehow.
Right.
So I'm curious as to how that happened, or if this is still the case.
Right. Yeah.
So that somehow that needs to happen, so that she doesn't end up with Stannis.
Right.
So I'm like curious as to like
how
like some of the Highgarden people like leave and end up with the Lannisters.
Right.
Because we know they have like a contingency outside, like all their foot soldiers can come in.
Yeah.
So like there could be like the foot soldiers are coming the one way, and then like some of the Highgarden people are escaping and they meet up.
Right.
Or like.
Yeah, because like Catelyn is like, what are the Highgarden supposed to do except like back the only remaining Baratheon.
Which they could back Stannis, and then Stannis could fail, and then she jumps again to the Lannisters, or she could stay with Stannis and then betray Stannis to the Lannisters.
Right.
So there's like so many different ways that could go. Yep.
Yeah. and it's funny because it's like Catelyn is like explaining to Brienne, she's like, this like shadow, I thought it was the King's shadow, but it was like, I thought it was Renly's shadow, but she's
like, I felt it was Stannis.
Yeah, it was Stannis' shadow, and it's like, this doesn't make any sense, she's not gonna believe me, and then Brienne's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill Stannis with Renly's sword, and it's just like, okay, alright, you're on board, cool, glad, you should come with us, because you're not gonna be good around here.
Yeah, also, it would be really helpful for me to have some muscle right now.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to have someone extra, and it's like, yeah, and it's like, oh, I need to go get my armor and my horse. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to be recognizable right now.
No. Poor Brienne.
One little thing, because it's something that I like asked you about the other day, and I want to come back to. When they're like planning the stuff, and they're like, all right, Barristan Selmy.
Right.
He's probably with Stannis then, and like, where, because Renly's like, Barristan Selmy needs a king.
Right.
And if not me, and if not Rob, then like, who is Barristan Selmy like with right now?
Which he's not with Stannis. Like, we know he's not with Stannis.
Yeah, he's not with Stannis. Right. So it's like, where's Barristan Selmy? What's he up to? Because people have been like talking about him.
My only two thoughts, and I feel like they're probably both wrong. But this is the only thing I could come up with when you asked me before.
Right.
And my first one I feel like is less like me than my second one, but I feel like both of them are still kind of shots in the dark.
Right.
First one with Tywin. Because like he was like there like working for the king and stuff like that. Was let go by Joffrey in like this like humiliating like crazy way or whatever.
Right.
But Tywin wants him. He's like been asking about him or whatever. So like
Tywin's like, you shouldn't have fucking got rid of him. He's like legitimizing.
Yeah. And so Tywin would definitely want him. I don't know why he would want to go with Tywin necessarily after being, like, screwed over so much. But maybe he can see that as, like, okay,
you're
well, this
more
is...
reasonable.
You're a more reasonable, like, Lannister. This is, you know, like, in something. But I
maybe
still...
you can get me, like, reinstated with Joffrey or something.
Right, something like that. I still feel like that's not...
Right.
Like...
Not likely.
Not super likely. I don't actually like that.
Yeah. But it was the first thing that, like, popped to your mind.
That, and then I thought Dany.
Yeah.
That he might go looking for, and not necessarily Dany, like, might be looking for a brother, too. Like, both of them.
Yeah.
Because, like, his whole thing was, like, the position...
Because he was there before Robert became king.
Right.
He was, like, Kingsguard before Robert became king.
Like, he was there for the Kingsguard institution. Like, it didn't matter who was there. So, go back to the Targaryens. Go find...
It's like the Targaryens are still out there, and really they should, be the rightful king anyway, when you think about it.
So, I guess I can go
I'll
look
throw
for
my
them.
lot in with them.
That's kind of crazy to go, like, searching on another continent. Like, you don't fucking know. Like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And so I also think it's, like, not... probably not the case.
Right.
But again, my only other theory. Those are my only two kind of things that I have at the moment.
Yep. And I love it. I love hearing all of your theories. It's just like, it's so fun to get to experience. It's been fun rereading this just in general, but it's so fun to get someone's, like, fresh take on everything. You know,
it's been real good. I've been really enjoying this. There's a lot to dig into all the time for this series.
Yep. It's I knew that it would be very much your shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a lot of good thematic stuff going on. A lot of, like, you love shitty characters.
Yeah, I do love some shitty characters.
You love people who are shitty. You love it when someone sucks and is incompetent.
And I don't like excusing them.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to be like, ooh, they're actually great. No, they're shitty, and I like that they're shitty for, you know, like, interesting reasons.
I was listening to Mel T's, like, chapter review for the most recent chapter, and that kind of reminds me of something. The whole, like, not excusing them, but liking them for being a villain and stuff. But we'll get into that because there are spoilers.
Oh yeah.
There are spoilers.
I hate people, like, ooh-wooing fucking bad people. It's just like you can like a bad character. They're fun. It's fun to like.
It's like, I like this villain because they're a villain.
Yeah.
I like
this hero as a bad hero, or as a, you know, like, all of these different complex things. I like that.
It's like the flaws are part of why I like them, you know?
It pisses me off when people try and, like, you know, excuse it away or whatever. And I'm like, no, you're not making it better. You're making it boring. Stop making it boring.
Yep. Being like, oh, but actually, you know, it's like, no, if you like this person who's shitty, you like, it's like, just like them because they're shitty. Don't try and, like, rehabilitate them.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, it can be fun to hypothetically rehabilitate a character or whatever. But it's just like, sometimes people be like, oh, I like this villain, and there's this, like, idea or assumption that means that you, like, side with them or something. It's like, no, I like them in the way that you're supposed to like a villain. Where you're like, fuck this guy, I love him. Sengoku's a bitch and he sucks, and that's why he's so much fun. You know, it's like, oh, you know, it's like, if you ever become that corrupt, I'll kill you. And then it's just like, and then he does, and then you don't. And that's why you and Sengoku are so interesting as characters. Because you suck. That's what's so fun about you, you know? That's the point. But yeah, and so Renly gets killed by shadow magic.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw that was the next chapter that was up for us, I'm like, you gotta.
Yeah. I'm very happy we listened to it.
Yes, and I'm like, hey, you want to maybe, like, listen to this together?
And I was like, sure.
Sure. And you knew.
I was like, there had to be something, but I didn't think that.
Right. You're like, something big is gonna happen.
That
but
totally
like, what?
caught me off guard.
It really does, because you're so ready for there to be this, like, battle. and you're like, you're prepared for Renly to lose, but you're not prepared for Renly to lose like that.
Yeah. It honestly reminds me, and I've forgotten the character name, and I forgot it when I told you about this, like, yesterday when we talked about it. It reminds me of a scene from Wheel of Time with some white cloaks, but I've forgotten the name of some people in the scenario.
Right, and I don't remember about that, and you're like, I don't remember if you've gotten to this or not. I don't
remember what book it's in or anything, so I don't want to say too much about it.
Right.
But there's similar vibes. They both like take place in like a tent, and there's a big thing.
Does like a golem get him or something?
That's something else.
That's something else. Because I know that there's like that guy who's like a white cloak who's like a dark friend, and there's like they're like going after his family or whatever, and he's like, "Whew, they'll have to make their way through my family before they get to me or whatever," or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's a different.
That's a different guy.
Yes.
A different thing.
I know who you're talking about.
Got you. There's so much Wheel of Time stuff that I've forgotten because I keep taking these like big breaks. I need to like.
Wheel of Time is so huge.
It's so huge.
What do we even look up this?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't matter. This video's been so long.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was really excited for it because I was waiting for it because I'm like, this should be happening like soon. Given where Catelyn is and what's going on with Catelyn.
Yeah, this should be,
This should be like soon. And so then seeing that it was like the next chapter, I'm like, okay, well, we gotta, we gotta listen to this now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite exciting. Magic.
Yep, and I'm excited to listen to more.
I'm excited for you to listen to more too. I gotta get through Cradle first before we can get to the next. Although I've been, I've been really enjoying
the next Cradle book will be good.
Yeah, and we got to figure out what we're doing.
Yep, the next Cradle book is Wintersteel.
Yeah, because it's all
Oh no, it's not Wintersteel. Sorry, next book is Uncrowned.
Uncrowned, right, and we got to figure out like how many videos are we doing for Uncrowned, and like are we because we talked about like we're gonna do like the whole book for a video, and then we didn't. We did it like 2.
Yeah, we did 2. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. We'll have to figure it out. Yeah. We'll probably just like listen to the whole thing and then figure it out from there or something. But yeah, this has been the section.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else? Any final words on the section before we move into like what we've been reading?
Nah.
Alrighty. Alright, what we've been reading.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yes, lots of stuff. I've still been obsessed with Vampire the Masquerade. Still been obsessed with like Campaign 4.
Yeah,
I found another Vampire the Masquerade actual play that I can listen to at work because LA by Night we've started watching because I like
seeing the acting.
Seeing the acting, they're very like fun to actually watch. So like I found one I can listen to that I've been really enjoying. Like, I've bounced off a few, and then I found this one that I'm like, yes, this is the perfect amount of creepy and drama and, like, fun, like, weird Sabbat stuff going on. And there's a Ministry member who I really like the Ministry, so that's very fun.
Yep, we've watched the One Piece live action season 2, which was so good. So good. So good.
Better than season 1.
Better than season 1 in like every respect.
Like honestly.
If you are someone who's completely unfamiliar with One Piece, watch it. Watch the One Piece live action. Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good. Like it's there's definitely some like big changes from
some big changes which are a little controversial,
but like especially in season 2, like I feel like all of the changes were good. I think there was like 2 or 3 changes in season 1 that I was like, you know. But like overall live action people like really hit for like everyone. So like it's worth it. Like absolutely watch it. And then season 2 is just even better.
It's just even better. That like because like for those of you out there who are like One Piece fans and whatnot, the Chopper backstory episode. Absolutely perfect.
It was amazing. I've seen so many people just like sobbing, like live action only fans. Just
I thought it as you were saying it.
Live action fans just like just sobbing their eyes out for you know like.
Yep, and just like the guy that they got for Hero Look
perfect.
Is perfect. Like absolutely like. I couldn't imagine it any other way, truly.
And he's like a fairly like unknown like actor and stuff. Like I was seeing some like behind the scenes stuff, and he like hearing him talk about it, he loved it. He had so much fun, and it was just like
it's just like this. The season improves on like everything from the first season, and unless you're like being a real stickler, I feel like you'll enjoy it even as like a fan. You just gotta be like, this is its own thing. Yeah, it's like it in a lot of ways feels like it. You know, like the people who are making it care. Yeah, they care about One Piece, and they really care about it.
And the actors care, and the like.
It's just like you can tell there's a lot of love behind this. Oh yeah, and that like, you know, it's a fun novelty to get to experience it in live action, and it's never going to be as good, as like complex and intricate as One Piece is, because One Piece, you know,
because there's just so much. It's so big.
It's an epic fantasy. It's so long. We spend so much time with the characters, and we got in little arguments with Mel and T online about it. Because Mel and I
forgot that I actually like tweeted back and forth a little bit.
Yes, it's like we had, and we don't need to like, you know, get into it and whatnot, but basically Mel just has like such a singular, particular interpretation of Sanji. She's too much of a Sanji fan to allow anything about Sanji to be changed at all, and be like, they don't understand the character. Yeah. They don't understand, like, they truly don't understand the very core of the character because Sanji opens up about one tiny thing early. Yep.
And it's just like,
it's fine. Yep. It's truly fine. It's just like, I don't know. Sanji being like able to talk about the one thing from his backstory that's good, as opposed to not being willing to talk about literally anything from his past. Yep. It's like in the manga, and Sanji's just, not
like, connected to exactly what's happening at the moment. Like,
yes, it's just like connecting what's happening at the moment to the things that we know come later. Yeah, and like having him open up a little bit about that, it's like it completely like ruins they don't understand his character. He would never fucking do that. He would never fucking say that. No, I'm not watching the show. And it's just like, you know.
And I'm using what other people are saying about this scene to justify why I'm right for not watching the show.
Right. It's just one of those things where it's like because like following
and
Mel,
I'm right that it's shit.
Right. It's like following Mel on Tumblr and seeing like someone be like, oh, you're not gonna like the second season, being like, well, it's a good thing I'm not watching it. I'm like, I was really hoping that it would just end there. Yeah. And this should just be like, well, I'm not watching it, so I don't need to fucking care about it. But to just care so much about it, despite the fact that, like, you know that you didn't like the first season. Yep. So you know that you're not gonna like the second season. You know that you're not gonna watch the second season. But to then be, like, so upset about it anyway.
And, like, feel superior over the fans who like it.
Yes. It's just like...
It's like, I know it better and I'm, you know, whatever. Like, if you inferior fan like it, then fine, that's up to you. But...
Right, and, you know...
I know what I'm looking at.
Right, and
which is not... That's a bit, like, uncharitable.
Right, and also it's just this sort of thing, it's like, why can't people understand why we're upset about this? And, like, they keep saying that we're, like, overreacting. It's like, it's because you are overreacting. Right. You are overreacting. We can understand why you're upset about it. We disagree, and we think that you're overreacting.
Yep, and that's...
And that's how it is, but to say that they're overreacting is such an affront, such an offense. How, like, why aren't we allowed to feel this way? No, you are. We just disagree and think that it's a bit much.
Right. But, like, you're welcome to it.
But you're welcome.
And you don't have to watch it, and, you know, or like it.
Yeah, and then to be like, you know, why aren't we allowed to feel this way? But then also, like, if people do like it, then they're like, they don't understand Sanji's character and whatnot. It's just like, whatever. Whatever, man. Like, I get it. He's your Blorbo, and you know, if you deviate any little bit from his character, then it's, you know, the fucking end of the world. Power scaler. You've become...
I hate... The power scaling community poisons everything it touches.
Yes.
And I will say that on the fucking rooftops.
Yeah, it's just like, you've become... You're now one of those people who looks for every possible Sanji slight that, like, Toei is doing or whatever. Oh, Toei fucking hates Sanji because they like, slighted him for this moment and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like... you're falling for the fucking propaganda.
Yep.
You need to not listen to these power scalers so much. You need to like. It is the easiest thing in the world to rage bait Mel, and Mel will be like, "No, it's not rage bait. They genuinely believe this. Just because they genuinely believe doesn't mean it's not rage bait."
I've rage baited people with the stuff I actually believe. I've done that before.
Like if someone's
it's possible.
Like if someone's goal is to bait you into a reaction of rage, even if it's something that they truly believe, but they're not willing to hear you out and like actually have like a good faith discussion with you. They're just trying to get you mad because they know that their sincerely held belief makes you mad. They are rage baiting you, and you are the easiest motherfucker in the world to rage bait. Like, you rage bait yourself. You read something and you think of the thing
that other people might say
and argue with them as if they're there. Like, I've listened to your streams. This is how you are. You rage bait yourself constantly. You get rage baited by people constantly. You interact with the rage bait all the time. That's why you're so easy to rage bait. That's why people do this. And it's like, I get it. Because you're like... Because Mel is just like, but I'm right about One Piece. I understand One Piece.
Which, compared to most power scalers... Yes.
Absolutely. And, like, here's the thing. I watch Mel's live streams because I genuinely tend to agree with Mel's interpretations of things. So, like, don't get me wrong. I am, most of the time, on your side. But also, you gotta understand that you are, like, so easy to rage bait. You are getting rage baited. I don't care that it's their sincerely held beliefs. They are rage baiting you with their sincerely held beliefs. They are not willing to listen to you. They will never listen to you. They will never take you seriously because that's not what they're here for. They're here to make you mad. They're here to go, haha, I made her mad by saying the thing. And
then take a clip and post it on, you know.
Exactly.
It's clip farming shit, you know.
Exactly. It's like that's the thing.
And it's by the same people on Twitter that, you know, do the same fucking agenda piece, power scaling, like annoying shit. I have had such a better time with One Piece Twitter after blocking through like half to 3/4 of One Piece Twitter. It's been wonderful. I get stuff in Spanish, like translated. Like I found a whole new community of One Piece fans, completely like. And anytime I see any agenda piece, anything, I'm block.
Who is that guy? Who is that one guy that was talking about how, like, with the live action, no one wants to see 50-year-old Nami because people are, like, horny watching it?
This one.
Insane.
This one comes from a YouTuber. I haven't watched him in a while. I used to watch him quite regularly. He's actually someone that I kind of found One Piece through because I watched his My Hero Academia videos. That he would make some like My Hero Academia chapter videos, and so I saw some of his One Piece videos before I watched One Piece. So whatever. But he posted. It was just ridiculous shit. Like.
Truly, he was just like people like the people like thirst watching the show and stuff, and it's just like. No one want, like, you know, once, you know, Nami's, like, 50 years old or whatever, you know, people are just not gonna want to, like...
Yeah, it's like, oh, like, the live action needs to come out faster or whatever.
Right.
So someone's like, oh, I always thought that Netflix was, like, gonna drag it out because One Piece is so... profitable, whatever. And he's like, no, they're limited by the actors' ages. They want as many seasons as possible, as fast as possible, with the least amount of investment to make the most money. And then I was like, I don't think the actors' ages are, like, a big deal. It's not like, you know, like, Harry Potter, or, like, it's not, like...
Right, we're like...
You can add some time in. I'm like, add a bit more travel time, and I think we're all good. Like, I don't think the ages really matter. Like, I genuinely...
Yeah, it's just like...
Like, I don't think... It's not Stranger Things. It's not... Like, the people all, like, talking about, oh, the actors are going to be too old. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This isn't Stranger Things. This isn't Harry Potter. This isn't, like, Percy Jackson. This, like... What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You can add a little bit of time in. There's also, like, already a time skip.
Yeah.
Like, you add in a little bit of time in the time skip. You add in some months, some weeks here or there of travel time. Like, so fucking easy. Like, I'm sorry, but it's so easy.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's
it'll fuck with the timeline later on, but it doesn't matter. You can do the math and, like, fuck with the timeline.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Yeah.
But then he said some, like, insane shit. I'm not sure if it's okay to say this out loud. So then why'd you say it? Sorry, it just, like, grossed me out. This, like, I probably won't watch this guy again because, like, I was actually, like, a little grossed out. Not sure it's okay to say this out loud, but there's a large portion of younger people who who lust watch these things. Part of the reason live actions continue to get made, despite few asking for them, this is ultimately what gatekeeps 50-year-old Nami. Oh, right, because he also said, because someone else was like, oh, I'm okay with 50-year-old Nami, or something.
Right, well, because also it's like... It's also so funny because, like, I forgot that, like, actually the way he phrased it, it's like, people keep making live-action versions of things, even though nobody's asking for it, because people are lust-watching it. So this guy thinks that, like, fucking Disney made, like, live-action Cinderella because we wanted to see...
Right.
Because we wanted to get horny about, like, live-action Cinderella. And I'm like, buddy, I got news for you. People are horny about the fucking non-live-action show. Like, the fucking anime is hornier than the live-action is. In, like, every metric. So it's stupid to think that, like, the live-actions are being made for the horny crowd to begin with. Like, that's really silly. And this is why we're not going to get 50-year-old Nami, because she wouldn't be hot enough, which is just like, it's just like this weird, gross misogyny thing of like, well, younger equals hotter, as we all know, younger equals hotter. Right. So like,
and yeah, so then I was like, yeah,
because we didn't even know that like Emily Rudd was like in her 30s.
No, so it's like, I'm like, number one, she's like, I don't think she's gonna be 50, but even if she is, like, there's so many things wrong with it. Like, that's the thing. Like, there were so many things wrong with it that, like, it pissed me off on, like, so many different levels. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, because I wanted... Because, on every level, I hate this.
Yeah. Like, literally everything about this is bad, because it's, like... Because part of it is, like, well, one, like... The older members are also hot.
Like, I'm sorry, like, watching the live action shit like that or whatever, the majority of people are thirsting after Garp, Kureha, fucking, like, they're thirsting after other people too, but, like, we're all old. This isn't young. Like, what do you mean?
Right, you know?
And this person talking is, like, in his 30s. What the fuck are you on?
Mm-hmm. It's like also, we, the audience, will be getting older at the same rate that the actors are. So if you find them hot now, you're probably still going to find them hot later as you age at the same rate that they do.
Also, like, fucking, like, Wolverine was, like, fucking 40 or 50. Mm-hmm. When, like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's because you're being a misogynist ass.
Yeah.
It's because it's Nami and you're a fucking misogynist ass. Like, it's actually, like, does piss me off. I'm like, I didn't think I was actually that mad, and then I came back to it, and I'm like, no, actually, I am mad. Yeah. Because he was like, oh, I don't want to talk to you because you're mad. And I'm like, actually, I am kind of mad.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things where it's like, one, no, like, if you think that, like, the amount of people who are watching, like, genuinely him...
He's a One Piece fan!
Yeah.
Of the writing of One Piece!
Yeah. It's like...
He's a theory channel!
Right. It's just like one of those things where, like, none of this makes sense. Like, no, live actions aren't being made because people are thirsty for the actors. Are you stupid?
Like...
Live actions get made because it's cheaper to have an actor do it than to pay animators to do it. Yep. Animation is notoriously expensive as a medium.
And it's the novelty of seeing it in live action. There's like a billion different ways. Hotness is a thing that, like, is... But it's not the only thing that you're looking for in a story. No. What do you mean?
Because it's not like this is fucking Game of Thrones where we're throwing fucking tits and ass everywhere.
And I'm also like, you're a theory channel who likes the writing, who likes Oda's, like, shit, right? And then, like, I'm like, and is it that big of an audience only there to lust? I think it's a big enough an insult and a disservice to Oda's writing. Like, writing quality. I also just genuinely think you're wrong about the amount of people purely watching for hot people. Like, I found that kind of insane.
And then he's just like, okay, shrug.
Yep, and because then he wrote something else to me, too, but I don't know if he deleted it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not that, like...
Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, you were correct.
Yeah.
It was just like, because then he answered, because I said, like, oh, she's, like, like, I thought she'd be, like, 50, but, like, who cares? And he's like, oh, she's 33 right now, so, like, in, like, 10 years, I was like, whatever, I don't care. And I'm like, what about the rest of my post? Because he didn't answer the rest of it, and then he's like, you're too mad.
Yeah.
I was like, what about the rest of my post? You seem upset that I even suggest such a thing. So, to be honest, the answer to my original question is no, it's not yet okay to say this out loud.
Oh yeah, it's because he's working under that, like, he's working under that assumption that, like, well, we all, like, this thing that we don't want to, like, admit, but we all secretly know is true, which is that, like, we're all thirst watching it, and that, like, the reason is that, like, oh, they're not going to be young and hot enough to do it.
Here's the other part of it.
And so it's just, like, it's just so stupid. It's, like, genuinely just so stupid. Like, it's hard to even, like, put into words.
This is the other part of his argument. It was, is that really what you think the appeal of live action One Piece is what I said. No, it's a substantial component, though. Mm-hmm. And shows get canceled if viewership starts to fall, because the project will cost increasingly more money over time.
Yeah. And
that's his reasoning, but that's stupid.
Yeah, his reasoning is that, like, as the cast gets older, fewer people will be lust watching it, and thus the numbers will go down, and thus it'll get canceled because viewership dropped at all. And which is just
ridiculous. Viewership always drops season over season.
Yeah,
that just is the case for television. Like,
and it's like not like it's just not a significant portion of people are watching the show just for horniness.
Yep.
Like, the fact that you think that that's the case says so much about you
personally that, like, makes me not ever want to watch your channel again.
Right. And also it's like because it's like you're not even framing it from the perspective of, like, I know it's fucked up, but this is how the industry is. Yeah. You're just like, well, as soon as she's 50, she's gonna be too ugly for people to thirst watch.
And also, I should be able to say it, and I guess I can't say it right now.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, no.
Gross ass.
It's like you knew that what you were saying was, like, bad. That's why you said the whole thing about, like, I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but it's just like...
And then snarkily answered that.
Right, it's just like, no, you're not allowed to just be openly misogynist, actually.
No, and like, I'm not the crazy one for being like, what?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, no, you're like, as soon as Emily Rudd hits 50, you know how it goes.
Like, it's fucking...
It's just like...
Once a woman hits 50, might as well die.
Right, you know?
Like...
It's that fucking, like, you know...
Can't have kids, aren't hot enough, fucking kill yourself.
Right, it's that fucking, like, incel mentality of, like, younger equals hotter.
And I never thought he was like that. That's why I'm like, what the fuck?
It's just like, you know, as soon as, you know... Yeah, it's like you're at your peak of beauty when you're fucking, like, the moment you turn 18, it's all downhill from there. This idea that, like, as you get older, you just get less and less hot. Yeah. And it's just like... And it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And then that would, like,
devalue the media that they're in.
Right.
Like...
and it's just like, do you know how many, like, hot female actors out there are older than you think that they are?
Seriously.
And are, like, playing younger than you think that they are?
Half of them are 40 and 50 playing, like late 20 and 30-year-olds, and you're like, oh, 50-year-olds, like, fucking...
Yeah.
And you're, like, 30-something, so, like, shut up.
I'm gonna look someone up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway is, like, 43.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, people still consider Anne Hathaway to be, like, hot, and she's, like, 43.
Like, so many, like...
People find Corey hot,
yeah,
and
as soon as she walked on screen, like...
Like, so many people are like, oh my god. And the actor for Corey hot is genuinely,
71.
like, 71. It's like... Fucking... How old is Peter Capaldi?
Also, I believe in his 70s.
Because, like, Peter Capaldi was, like, the oldest, because
that was part of my response, was that, like, people were thirsting after Kureha and Garp and, like, all these people. And then, like, my other response was, like, it's a substantial component though.
Okay,
is
he's
it
67.
Yeah.
Capaldi. Yeah.
Got you. Like, is it? I don't know. I've been watching reactions. That's not my experience. The love, joy, silliness, emotion, and stories will keep people watching the same way it's kept us reading. I fundamentally disagree that the audience cares as much as you think, as much as you seem to think they do. But sure, there's at least some amount of audience that cares about how hot the cast is. That's why I mentioned all of the hot, like, fucking MILFs and whatever. You know, like.
Yep.
All of the hot older people, because I don't see why an aging cast would be a problem for this audience. Like,
yeah, it's just like,
what do you mean?
Like, it's just absurd. It was just truly such an absurd thing, and I was like there with you as you were like reacting to this stuff.
I've watched this guy for years, and I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I immediately muted his, like, after that whole conversation, I muted his account and
yeah,
like.
And so now, right here.
Yeah, sorry.
At the very end, at the end of all things.
At the end of all things.
I will say, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, here's the sign off for the video. Here's the, like, you know, this has been Let's Talk About Book.
Yep.
Now you can go forth and think about book on your own time, because spoilers for One Piece, most recent chapter.
Spoilers for One Piece for the most recent chapter.
Spoilers.
1179.
1179.
Spoilers for One Piece.
And this is the most serious we've ever been about spoilers. So, like, if you are done with the video, like this is...
Yep, this is just so spoilers.
This is the last thing, and we've already done our little outro. Yep. Goodbye and good night.
Exactly.
And so, continue listening at your own risk. Face reveal.
Yeah, such a cool design.
Such a cool design.
I love it.
And here's the thing. There's so much that we could get into, because also it's like has always been the little silhouette thing.
Yeah.
And then whenever gets there and like transforms into this like hot, sexy demon form, it's like...
Yep. Is this a different form, or is this his actual form, or...
Right, it's like probably has multiple forms, right? I feel like that's probably a likely thing. There's this whole thing, like, maybe Eames now in this form, because it seems like leaving the castle...
Like, hurts somehow,
is changing things, whatnot.
People are theorizing being close to the sea is what's the issue.
I've heard that one. So, watching Mel's thing...
Yeah.
You know, there's the, oh no, he's hot.
Yes.
It's like, listen. And like everyone in the chat's just like fucking spamming alerts, which makes it like unlistenable.
Oh no.
But Mel's just like, shut up. Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up.
I can imagine that fucking Sanji alert just popping
up.
Like, yes. Because that Sanji alert is the most fucking... It's very hard to watch Mel's streams with anyone else, like, in the vicinity. It's like,
yes.
I guess there's gonna be random moaning.
Yes. And then it's also just like, it's like, Mel, you can shut off the alerts. You can do it. You have the power. I know that you're like, because you're always like, everyone needs to just like stop doing the alerts.
Yeah.
Mel, you have the power. You can turn the alerts off. You can stop it. You can make them less loud. You can even just like turn down the volume of them and turn yourself up. There's so many things you can do, Mel. There's so many things that you can do that you don't do. You are standing in your own way a lot of the time. And like, you just have to acknowledge that. And it's the most frustrating thing about watching you is that you think that you are right about everything, that everyone should just listen to you. And it's the most frustrating thing about watching you, despite the fact that I love your theories and that I love your videos and that you're very good at what you do. But also, Mel, please.
I feel like that could happen with streaming. You just get in that fucking thing with chat, like, it like...
It's like, everyone shut up, Mel. Turn off the alerts. Turn them off, and then you can say your bit, and then you can turn them back on. It's fine. Anyway, and she's like, we can be ethical gooners here. It's like we can acknowledge that he is hot without endorsing him morally. Mel, very anti as a Lunarian. And when it comes to that camp, she's like, I think that he's red and has blonde hair, and not that he has... Because and from watching a teching video, he was also like, some people have said that maybe he has like red skin or something like that.
I could see that.
Which, you know,
because it's like darker, so I thought it was similar to like Lunarian skin tone, but it could be red.
Yep, it's like I like you know, and Mel does acknowledge it's like, you know, like, this is just my interpretation and whatnot, which sometimes she doesn't. You know. But she's just like, no, I don't think it's that way. I don't think there's a Lenarian. I don't think so. And it's just like, oh, whenever like the silhouette is like transforming, it looks like it has wings. It's just like, nah, I think it's just like the fucking.
Got you. Yeah. The like eye thing.
The eye thing, the like smoke ring thing. It's like, I think it's just like that sort of like forming or whatever.
I still leave room open, but I don't think it would be it's not as simple as like he's Lunarian.
Yeah.
There's more to it, either like helped create them like out of like, cause I mentioned like making them out of his image type of like because like they seem to be like a like partially engineered species or whatever.
Right.
So like maybe like made them.
Well, because but then there's the question of like, why are they all gone?
Right. Why? I mean, it could be a like again like a godly. Made them out of my own image and then destroy them after sin. You know, like it could be a similar.
They tried to like rebel or something.
Right. So then like.
Yep, it's just like there's so much interesting stuff going on. We finally like and she's like, I don't. It's like we don't know that this is necessarily just like what Eam looks like.
Right.
Like this could just be like
another form or
a
whatever,
form, and so this doesn't necessarily mean this is what Eam like always looked like and whatnot. Which like it's like, you know what, Mel, you're right. Pull it back. We still don't know everything. We can't be like making too many just like hard assumptions, except for of course the assumptions that you like to make, and so then those are fine.
But that's how.
But that's just how it goes. That's how life is. You know,
you gotta bring some assumptions.
Right. It's like we you know, there's only so much that we like know, but it's just like actually getting to like see Eam in any regard, in any form that's not just a silhouette. Is like huge. And I've already seen someone put Eam's fucking face right in a thumbnail, and I'm like,
I saw like I've already seen it on Twitter, and I'm like, y'all need to just chill.
Y'all need to fucking chill. You don't need to chill. You don't need to stop being so annoying.
Yeah. Who put in the thumbnail?
Yeah, it's just like who fucking is like put Eam in the thumbnail being like the strongest of all time or whatever.
There's someone known for it, so I'm wondering if it's that person.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about this kind of stuff. I just like it's just like a random thumbnail that I've like seen a few times, and I'm like, stop it. Stop doing it. You son of a bitch.
I've been watching like the One Piece like online like YouTube community for a while.
Yeah, but like holy shit, and if you want to talk about any of this like One Piece shit in the comments, please
put it like it's like spoilers or whatever.
Yes, put it fucking like beneath the cut, fucking make it so we have to hit read more in order to look at it, because in case anyone is unfamiliar, you know, and like be like, there's gonna be spoilers beneath the whatever, you know, you gotta be chill. Everyone's gotta be real chill.
Right.
You know, but God, One Piece, it's like having Eam just like show up.
Yeah, it's wild.
Physically just be there. It's just like, oh, the end has never been more in sight.
Yep.
And Mel is like, someone, maybe it was Mel, maybe it was Murphy, maybe was like, probably what's gonna happen is because teleporting there and like being there, Eam's like coughing up blood, and there's emphasis on like, no, you can't leave the castle, you can't leave. That like probably Eam's gonna show up, we're gonna have to deal for a little while, but then Eam's gonna have to leave. Because Eam won't be able to like stand being there for whatever reason. So
that's kind of what I was thinking too. It's like set up for like our characters to like meet the big bad, because like they don't know shit, so like they need a reason to like you know, we've known of Eam's existence, but they don't know shit,
right? And so it's like, because this obviously can't be the final battle right now. This can't be the battle with Eam right now, and so it's like we're gonna like get a taste, and then we're gonna have to be like, okay, now how do we deal with this once the time actually comes? Like I wouldn't be surprised if like, all right, time to fight Eam, and we just like cut him right in half and he just fucking heals back together. You know, it's like some shit like that happens, and we're like,
Maybe we should leave.
Maybe we should leave. What do we do? Like some more like Gorosei type shit. Where it's like, we just can't do anything.
So we just gotta go for now.
We just gotta go for now. We just gotta like stall for now. And then Eames just gonna be like coughing up blood and being like, all right, I gotta go back because like literally being outside of the castle and stuff, it just like makes me start dying and coughing up blood. Like I start actively dying as soon as I'm like out here. Which is like fascinating. Like, why? What's going on? There's so many questions.
I'm very intrigued.
I'm very intrigued as well, and it's super exciting. Also, as soon as Eames designed, Mel was like, Griffith? from Berserk. It's like, he's Griffith. He's Griffith.
Very funny.
And I'm like, oh yeah, he is kind of Griffith, isn't he? In a way. And also someone from Devilman.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Got you. But yeah, and so it's like, and there's some alert that Mel has that's like Doflamingo, and people were spamming that Doflamingo alert a bunch because it's like, she's like, listen, and Doflamingo, it's like, stop it, shut up.
I love it.
Yep. So that's what we've been reading.
Yeah.
That's the final One Piece spoiler section thing, and that's now actually finally
the end of the video.
The end of the video.
This is a very, very long one.
This is a very, very long one. On our end, it's currently sitting at like a little over 4 hours. Yep. We'll see how much the truncate silence
It'll probably take it to like 4 hours.
It'll probably take it down to like 4 hours.
Like, it'll probably still be over 4 hours. I'm guessing 4 hours and like 1 minute.
Yep. But we were away for a while. So we have a lot to say.
An extra long one.
An extra long one just for you. As a treat. As a treat, we went on many tangents.
For a very long time.
And it was a lot of fun. And I'm going to have to probably actually do some editing on this one and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be so many fucking names to put in the description, but that's okay.
And I'm probably gonna go to bed soon.
Yeah. Betsune Miku.
Perfect.
Yep. Perfect.
Perfect ending.
Perfect.
Betsune Miku.
Betsune Miku. The perfect.
Good night.
Perfect note to end it on. Good night. Have a lovely whatever time it is.
You stole my outro. No, you didn't. I have a different outro.
You have a different one.
No.
I always say have a lovely whatever time it is.
I fucked it up. Wait, have a good day. Have a great, wonderful time.
Yes, there you go.
There we go. Hi.
Bye.
Bye.